Got to make the push. Entropic are going to sweep their way in. Schengen trying to claim, but the body block actually comes in. Keep his boy alive.
It's going to come down to the wire here. It's a 1v1. He knows he's around the corner. Schengen gets the first aid off. Drop shot! First drop shot! The BBL win it! And they will take down every single one, but not without casualties. It is one player that at least, I think Lyron, yeah, he was flashed immediately at the beginning of the fight. So BBL will win it. Yes, despite the good drop shot attempt. I love it. That's something you see very rarely because it's a great mechanical play, and really, most of the times they're only really being used by the absolute top players, and there's a reason for it I'm going to explain later. Because we have the next fight coming up already, but BBL, 4 points, only losing a single player, and then a good spot as well for phase 1.
It's a good spot. Let's think why these guys are trying to fight for it, right? Entropic obviously are moving down. I call this the phase compound. Obviously, phase not here, by the way. But they have taken this area. I think they are trying to look for some end-game difference. So, and Jenny will try to park the car. Or Cedric trying to park the car, and Jenny backs himself straight through his own player. So they should be able to get the res. I think they wanted to try and keep the element of pressure towards Bumble's squad now. And we know Crossberg, well, he can cause some dangers. Scout going to be in compound as well. So the guys are going to try and get... There goes a knock. So that's a blue zone nade. That means that a re-knock will happen. And it means the defense from Entropic already starts on the back foot.
Yeah, back foot indeed. Bumble squad now. A little more shots being traded. They have to be careful. Hawkey now goes down. Matzi opens things up. M4 in hand. Headshot comes through. Entropic find themselves in a 4v4. But... with Granny's position, they still have a little bit of freedom. We can see BBL in the distance. They're closing down on him. And if he's not there anymore to support them whatsoever, and Squeaky has just taken him down, it's going to be really, really tough. Bumble squad, as a result, has the man advantage. Grandy's, once again, is not going to be able to support anymore. It's just 2 players left alive, and they should be... I think they are located by now. Crossgo now! You can see, hits the headshot. Another one against Entropic. Just 1 player left now.
This is painful for Entropic. They're doing everything right. You can't fault the position. Yes, you can. You don't want to run your own player over. I get that, Tara. I know you're going to go in with that one. But the position, the way they're moving to the compound, they're just not winning the gunfights they need to win. And I'm so shocked by it. So the guy's tapping out. Jenny's the final player here at the moment. Now he's going to try and stay alive. But for how much longer? A team wraps in the south, he will get spotted. He might get away with it. Maybe lay down. Maybe take a break on the sofa. But... I wouldn't be too surprised. Bumble Squad is a team that also needs points. BBL, a team like game number 1, going for aggressive. Jenny has to activate now. Bumble Squad, he does go. He re-peaks. So one side tucks him back in, and there we go. He will take the final stand on the sofa. But BBL instantly arrived. Great shots from Smash. Here comes a huge Kobe. Will it land?
Oh, maybe it does. It looked like it flew pretty well, but no, it's a couple of meters off, unfortunately. And Bumble Squad is going to try to secure that knock. Obviously, a couple of shots running in from the distance shouldn't be a problem. No one's really towards the eastern side of it, so he makes his way inside the building. He's going to get that res, and Bumble Squad is going to be able to continue with 4 players. Yeah, be remembered. Do remember, excuse me, be reminded, IND is still inside the city of Monte. So that's the 4th player. Even though they've been fighting as 3 for almost the entirety of this one, they still have that 4th player somewhere else. And it's going to be interesting to see when he's going to rotate off. Monte, I've said it yesterday as well. We've seen it happen from solo, for example. That northern edge, if you do play Monte, is one of the most important positions if you're inside of it, because it gives you that access towards everything outside. And Iron Deep now realizes Face is right behind him. Probably going to have to group up.
I was going to say, like, what point do you go? What advantage does he get by sitting in Monte at the moment? Yes, it might play back, but I'd argue to say if it's playing back, the phase compound that the rest of the squad are in is going to be a stronger compound. We see it end sort of south of that, between the road, and it becomes compound to sort it out zone side. And so, well, still fighting again. Footy Sports on the push here. 5 kills for them. FedEx Stoke, he's put 4 underneath his belt, though, for the team. So really putting the weight and trying to deliver these points that are so desperately needed. There goes the push over. Here's the car coming wide on one side, but no, 80's going to make a repeat. And they're going to have 13th place for them. Footy Sports, well, they come out of San Martin. They do have Navi not too far away. That's why we see the knock come in. They're actually on that hillside just above, but Navi doing Navi things. You can see how far spread they are. They're just gathering intel. Look, are they going to get the confirm? Very much doubt it. But say, take the tyres, get it gone. They can't rotate. There's a lot of open terrain that Footy Sports will have to now run through. But Navi at the moment, they're just ticking off. Is there anyone else coming on the north side? Is there anyone playing on the east? Like, where can we now play? And so far, that helps Navi get into the end games and get huge points on the board.
Yeah. VP, in the meanwhile, they have one of the most consistent teams on rotates, and last game was a good indication of that. Secured themselves a very, very centralized spot. What we're seeing right now is Looker is continuously changing his helmet, so the new one drops closer to wherever he wants it to be. So if he peeks out of the warehouse and he takes challenges and he gets in the head, he can just immediately change it to the next one as soon as he rotates off. So smart play from Looker, in case you haven't seen it. Just it's these tiny kind of additions to your gameplay that sometimes once again can make the difference, and the stuff that you see in pro level play.
It's pro level play, as we are in the pro qualifiers for the playoffs for the Rotation Summer Edition. A versus C. If you are just joining in, it's our last day, and we are looking for a top 16, so that live leaderboard again on that left-hand side. That's where you want to keep the track. Now, we think it might be in around that kind of 45, 50, but with the first game under the belt with Mercy Gaming and with Felix eluding, actually the teams at the bottom making a huge grasp of the leaderboard just from one game. If that continues, that means that point might divide up or down, depending on how these games unfold.
Yeah, this is not good for Ascent or Hokkaido. What they want for today is none of the teams down low getting as many points as they have already. They want the very good teams, the teams, not very good teams, excuse me, the teams at the top of the leaderboard. Well, to be fair, there's some teams you might as well just call good teams, but teams that are very top of the leaderboard, just, you know, getting almost all the points that are available for today, or getting as many as possible at the very least. So Na'Vi, FaZe Clan is the ones that all these teams are going to be rooting for, especially Hokkaido and Ascent. And thus far, it's been a mixed bag. It's been a mixed bag. Let's put it like that. Nothing is decided yet after the first game.
No. We saw 5 games, 5 opportunities, and we saw it. Ascend last game yesterday. They went from not qualifying to qualifying potentially, but they do believe that points could be higher than the 45, could be higher than the 50, which put them at question. So we should wait and see. The zone does shift back down towards that south side, as we thought it might do. Now, it might potentially play back towards that Bumble squad. That's why we see Undeep collapse back in, so they are holding that compound. Just need to ensure no one crashes from the north. Obviously, teams are been working their way in. Mercy was on a 2-2 split, as you saw from the map as well. Na'Vi, well, they're going to rotate their way in. They scouted the information. They know there's no one else coming, so they've picked a path, should we say. And now this is kind of where they're going to activate. They're going to position themselves now, hopefully, towards an end part of zone. So watch them spread out, watch them gather more intel. But well placed in the cars, keeping those tyres alive. That will be key, especially if they need to bounce down towards the southwest.
Yeah, you're saying well placed, but I think Diffix, the way he parked his car right there, I think he didn't think anyone's going to be in the compound that VP's playing in. He was looking at it for so long, and that's why he parked his car relatively open to it. But I think there's sidelines to potentially pop the 2 front tires, so it's going to have to reposition. Either way, Na'Vi, yes, makes it into a very, very good Zircle position. They will be able to play off of this on foot for almost any kind of Zircle shift, unless it keeps shifting down south, which I feel like we've almost never seen, like the compound around teams. I think FaZe Clan knows this, that there's almost never an ending over there. Then they should be good for the remainder of this game. And it's all going to be down to individual strength. FaZe Clan are reacted. Pretty big spec down towards the southern part. The good thing about this is it's only really VP, and they should by now have already gathered intel that it's a 2-2 split from VP as well.
Well, BB versus BBL. That's going to be an interesting one for the casters, should we say? We always teams to collapse, but you see what he runs through. He wants to get this one done. Oh, he gets caught though. Spyro out the window, but smash. He rotates around the high ground, will provide a little bit of cover, but he's been heard. But the shots will rain true. Phil first will fall. Now he needs to get some support from Sheila as he's coming in from the other side. BBL are just everywhere at the moment and trying to pick up. Spyro gets exposed. Can he whip the shots? No. He goes down 1 versus 1, and BB team claim it at the end. BBL go out and aggressive, but in 12th place.
No chance. It is BB team. Well, there was a chance to be fair, but it is BB team in the end securing it. It is phase 1, so they should be able to bring everyone back. Right, first rest goes through. He's going to be able to heal, pick up the other one, while Aduzi is going to pick up the 4th player. So BB team might just make it out of this one as 4. You can see it's just Spyro and Besselog now. And phase 2, I think that should be just about fine. Ooh. Question only is, if they make it out, they're going to run into 3 players from Bumble squad. How good is the position the Bumble squad is playing off of right now? I think it's really good. So they're going to be in big trouble as soon as they enter zone.
That is a shift I wasn't expecting. I'll be honest. I thought it was going to play back a little bit more towards that southwest. But now we're going back towards the northeast corner. We Oh, yeah, late, I say. Again, we're going to take the fight on with Kitchen. Kitchen are still numbers. The numbers are still here. Both these teams low on the kills, but need the points. They might climb. Kitchen company sitting on 14. Need to be cautious here, and they are fighting for the zonal control. So this is going to be a crucial fight for the end game. It looks like WLA will they're dumping their util just to ensure that Kitchen do not climb this sand dune.
Trying to hold that edge. Kitchen is just below them. I think there's only one way for Kitchen to end this, and that is engage WLA. They're not trying to do this just yet. You can see that they're kind of passive on this. They don't want to peek across the ridge line. Peeking downwards is always kind of a disadvantage, at least if it's a slope like this. So WLA playing this one really passive, making sure they get the cars inside, doing this kind of domino-esque rotation, one spot to the other one, while the rest of them cover. But I'm not sure if they can coexist. Maybe they can coexist in this phase, but for the next one,
yeah,
they will have to eventually fight this.
I think they know they don't want to coexist, do they? They know how key this area could be when it comes down to late game, especially with that shift going back, because they have an element of high ground, right? Banana can't really push out towards them. Then we're going to see potentially Rap comes in. Well, where does Bumble squad? That's a huge Rap round. They've got to go round Mercy Gaming. That's not going to happen. So I think it's going to be really, really key area. Bumble squad, what they do engage with Hypebeast. Hypebeast have moved in. BBT not to go through that phase combat and go round, but they're going to be able to gain some intel here. That could be number 5. 4, sorry, looking for another one. Not quite there just at the moment, but they're gathering so much information here. Phil First and the Doozy do need to get into zone, and Hypebeast might draw their guns back towards Monty.
Yeah, that's the remaining squad members for BB team. One of the 3 teams qualified for EWC is going to be making a big cross now. And yeah, as you've said, plenty of teams watching them. I don't think there's going to be an opportunity to really find any good position inside of it. The rotate comes in, no chance. Nowick takes down 1 and the second one too. So 2 more frags being picked up by Hypebeast. Once again, they've been one of the most consistent teams in the qualification stages. Last round hasn't shown us that, so they want to bring it back.
Yeah, again, we talk consistency, and this is one team that will always come up here, and they are going to clash against the other one in my head from the Mia region, which is Bumble squad. They are rotating their way around. Iron Deep now finds himself on the outside in phase 4. That's an area you don't want to be, but that car, give or take, is now disabled, so he has to get running. So he's actually picked up Iron Deep on the other side, and well, Maddie's got the intel. That could be just behind him, so it won't be a surprise. But for now, they do have to find their way in, and the phase number 5 is going to be pushing them to have to take the fight here with Bumble.
He's looking at it. Ooh, Encho comes in, cross call.
Done.
Tells him to stay back, and more shots from Na'Vi too. Zone is going to move, and every single bit of damage that is being dealt against Hypebeast currently is going to delay that rotation. It's going to make that approach even tougher. More than one team is watching them. That's kind of the biggest part of it all. So where do you really drive from here? You've at least got the cars. That's the one thing going for you, but look at the map. Like, where do you realistically drive? Below Na'Vi? They're not going to let that happen, and Bumble Squad is definitely going to shoot at you as well. So maybe the straight path thing against Bumble Squad, maybe isolating one of the players, could potentially lead to another point, maybe 2 more points, maybe something miraculous happens. You're not getting shot out by Na'Vi in the meanwhile, and you'll find a fair fight, but it's... Either way, it's a really tough position for Hive Squad. I want to see what they do. I think it is going to be the straight breach. They are driving straight towards Bumble Squad. First headshot comes through. 80 bullets, 80 damage has already been dealt. But look at this, they're getting picked apart. 1 player, 2 from Na'Vi, 1, and then Bumble Squad another 1, and suddenly it's just Stuff left alive, and he's been spotted too. So, man, this just did not go their way, but expectedly so.
Actually was expecting a full breach. He threw a flash out. Next time he popped his head up, the guys were completely gone. Of course, well, Cal's going to have to make his way forward. Looks like a nade. If he bounces back slightly, it will cause a bit of splash damage. Doesn't quite do it. He picks him up. Wow. Great discipline. Sometimes moving into the danger path, moving towards the grenades is the best play, and that there is a prime example. Well, the WLA in the kitchen fight has kicked in. It didn't take long. Mercy Gaming, they want to now push their way up. WLA will be looking to continue to hold. No kills confirmed just yet. I think this is more pressure coming in from Mercy Gaming. We saw them take game number 1 now. As WLA, well, they're up to go the other way. Banana are in sight. And unfortunately, we are going to see Kitchen. They're going to be eliminated, and Mercy Gaming pressured on that northeast corner.
Yeah, we said Mercy Gaming was in a really tough spot. We originally thought Kitchen was in a really tough spot too, but Only one of them has gotten eliminated up until phase 5. And now WLA is trying to make their next move. They've not secured a single frag up until this point. They need to do it now, and it is going to be against iBanana. One of the players has been not good. Pre-fire shots coming out from anybody's. As you should know now, where Cinder is positioned. Boba ran around the corner too. They will clear out this building one by one, but it's a little bit too slow for my liking, personally. Then again, they haven't grouped up with the last player. He's still holding the ridgeline for now.
And how we said about them just coexisting with Kitchen, I think they needed to get rid of him. Like, and the fact that they've not done that, and now Kitchen trying to push them, it's forced them away. It just feels like they're running from the fights, but they're now taking a fight they potentially didn't want to take to start with. They've given up that train. Now they're under pressure here. Fate's going to have to log behind the door, but that's going to go. But does get the first knockdown. That's going to change the stance of how they play this one. Any more he ducks in, it's going to be down to him and Hoba. Hoba go down to 1, but he's able to secure one. He's going to go down himself. The final player now remains. Did you see him? I don't think he saw him. He didn't. Oh, he did see him at the end. He was laying down. And there we come. Huge play. Very, very nearly. The player laying down in the open picked him apart. But WLA, it was too passive for me. They should have taken the fight with Kitchen.
A really good stuff, though, from iBanana.
Yep.
A really important wipe. They will have time. There's not really around them. They will have time to rest this. But Mercy Gaming is on their way, and I think they've just listened to this fight. They know, wait, this is probably the best entry. You can see there isn't really a good position unless maybe potentially, but they couldn't have known that Navi's playing this 2-2, and you know, unless they played the northern side, they could walk straight up onto Navi. But once again, they don't know it's a 2-2 split, so that is a good position now to potentially third-party iBanana running out of this one. They would have the advantage on that original cross, and iBanana is playing it smart though themselves, as they cross towards the eastern side, meaning they probably won't really get into the sides of Mercy Gaming.
Let's get into the sides. Tory, he's taking some shots. Bumble squad down numbers, out zone. You'd argue maybe a take a 6 at the moment. Akatori hits 1. He's got a P90 in his back pocket as well, so any closer, it's going to be dangerous. He's going to now focus their attention. Now, VP still sit firm here. Banana now leave their compound. Mercy Gaming, though, they are chasing. Maybe back-to-back here for Mercy. Keep an eye on the kill feeds from them. But 6 teams remain. 18 players left. But this is the last Miramar for the playoff stages.
Good shots from Mercy. They will harass plenty of people. Now that they've secured that eastern high ground, realizing that iBanana is not really playing it. And iBanana now has fallen to the hands of Mercy. At least one of them has. Molodok opening things up against them. Molodok will get the flash on Flora too. Good shots. But the remainder of the zone is relatively calm. No one really has to pressure anyone, except once again for Mercy towards iBanana. And even they don't necessarily have to. They could just play this one smart and down low. They just realize, wait, iBanana's probably not going to expect this. So they just caught a quick glimpse. And worked out really well.
But this is the area I was talking about. This is where I would have thought we would have seen WLA play. Here. This is the key position. Yes, you don't need to push into the compound. I think you're right. They're not going to expect, or iBanana's not going to expect. They're definitely going to expect Molodok sitting right underneath their noses with a Groza in hand. So if they try to work their way down, there comes the shots. There comes the Groza, and you can hear that across the map as he will lay one down. iBanana looking to go out in their final section. There it is, 6th place for them. Next team will pick up the final one. Mercy Gaming will pick one. And we go down to 5 teams. We're in the top 4 position. Bumble squad are holding on, but not holding on to the zone as that whips again back towards the east. Mercy Gaming looking to be pretty much in the prime, but the numbers are still sitting with Na'Vi and VP at the moment.
Yeah, VP, especially with the split they have, they've rotated out of the compound at the perfect timing. So they have secured a spot inside the next zone. And VP, they're playing so methodical at the moment. I've talked about this. The rotation, in my opinion, they're one of the most consistent teams when it comes to rotation. Just taking pathings where you don't necessarily run into any team. They're just playing it so smart. That's where VP, in my opinion, is stronger than almost any other team in the international EMEA scene. And it's working out sometimes. Obviously, you sometimes miss out on plenty of frags if you play like that, but VP with these fraggers, doesn't matter. You can just do it in the late game, and they're showing it here. Yeah,
look at the difference between PGS 3 and 4. There were 2 prime examples if it works once and doesn't work twice.
Beautiful.
But VP will show. Luke Crux put some huge nades on across as well. Esports World Cup qualifiers. doing it again. Now, you can get kills, FedEx, from the end zones, and this is where VP will start to thrive. They've got the numbers. It's a 4 versus 3 versus 3 versus 1. Bumble squad still holding on. Every team that goes down is an extra point double for Bumble squad, as he will continue to work in. Now, he's not on the outside, so he has to play sneaky, as he will try and find a path in towards, but it won't be long before these Clash of the Clans start to fight. And there's the first one. pubg will put down Ferris. Hakatori decides, I've had enough of this one. I'm going down for zone. And actually, he will try and look at that. Mercy picks him up as well. So that's an extra point for Mercy.
Yeah, Mercy Gaming is able to clean up plenty of these frags coming into the eastern side, and they should probably get another one. That's just one hit needed. Hipako does it, and Defex goes down. 4th place for Na'Vi. Teammate has to fight on the other side. This is a good lurk. Lukarux takes down Monodog, hits a couple of more shots. That means he's not going to be able to cover his teammate anymore, and Monodog should be able to get secured for VP as well. We are looking at one of the first chicken dinners for VP in the rotation, and my goodness, have they played it calm and collected up until this point. They're showing us time and time again, but they are the biggest team coming up 2024.
Oh no, Quizzy's not missing them, is he? Great shots. That's a run and a half. I don't think Mercy will try and play that one. There's another one down. Mercy Gaming, I think they've had their the match set, and they might not be looking for a double winner chicken dinner. VP will now close their way down. Groza is up there as well, so they're double Groza. That's cheeky from Mercy, let's be honest. Baku will try and spin a few shots over the top. He sees one, there's the push, has to reducking. Now he takes some shots from VP on the other side, and Ibby actually going to claim it. That's a long distance though, throw. But Madzi finds another placement point. He's up for second. Ibby understands that there will be a solo somewhere, as he is bunny hopping his way to find the final Bumblebee.
This is honestly, this is so, you might think this is interesting, but this is so bad for anyone's watching. That is an Ascent fan, Hokkaido fan, or any of these teams that are at the cutoff. Because Bumble Squad, once again, with a good round. We've literally just seen another team pick up a chicken dinner that was so close to qualification before that already. So that cutoff point, it's going to continuously increase with Bumble Squad getting that second place. He's been spotted now. Ibiza might just be a matter of time. He plays it smart. He plays it calm. The IG Alpha VP, he's been such a massive force in terms of their success. When it comes to rotation, when it comes to pathing, in terms of playing it smart, that's when he shines. And there he goes. Nixie is going to pick up the last frag. 20 points for VP. They were never in doubt when it comes to qualification, but this one settles it once and for all.
Yeah, good chicken dinner. As you mentioned, this first time they're putting one underneath their belts, but they're always there. They're always in the end zones. They seem to be picking the rotations. If not, they're getting the compounds. If they're getting the compounds, then they start getting the kills, and that's why they're so high up the table. So VP doing well. But you are right. If Mercy Gaming would have got a back-to-back chicken dinner, Bumble Squad would have maybe gone out a little bit earlier. That's a big difference for some of these teams that are on the cut-off point that haven't got any games left. Well, we are going to have to wait and see how that one unfolds, but we can confirm that Miramar has been done, and FedEx, they have been good games though, Miramars.
Yeah, Miramars have been quite exciting, to be honest, and it seems to be, once again, it seems to be the storylines of the underdogs, especially on this map. Yeah. Time and time again, we're seeing teams coming out from the pits of the leaderboard and climbing their way out of it. And Mercy Game, best example of this one. Not only a chicken dinner, but in this one, a top 3 with plenty of frags. I think it was a top 3 with plenty of frags now too. So more and more teams. Once again, I can just reiterate this. For any team down on the leaderboard that's not playing today and is right at the cutoff, and we thought it was going to be 45, I would be scared with how many teams have now put up massive points, and especially these teams that we originally were thinking might not make it. So it's going to come down to the wire.
We'll come down to the wire. Well, the wire will have to end with Miramar. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, it is time to Tego. We know that's been an interesting couple of rounds for the last few days. For now, don't go too far away. We'll see you in round 3. On to this one. P90's in the hand. Shorty's going to claim it. He goes for it. Winner, chicken dinner.
Almost with making that most likely going down now. Yeah, there he goes. Actually, full W even, but also secures Chris and his team.
They're going to get a win.
The circle. Look at this. They take down one of the players from Howl as well. They just have 2 men. One more shot from Chris. They might just make the impossible happen. 7 frag being secured. It's just a solo right in front of them. He's picking it. Oh, Chris, what are you doing with us? WLA, it's been some time. It's been some time.
Go on, Batoy.
What are we seeing here?
Oh, he missed him.
Oh, he's been greeted. Oh my God, he got it.
All right, Jordan's going to cause issues and just time expecting up here. Great shots.
Look at the timing. It's sending the meanwhile as you qualify. That is the big part. For Solo, it might have just been the last fact. There's no way to dodge this. Solo's out. And with 31 points, 32, depending on how many more. Thinks back how both of these players falling. It was a 2-on-1 playoffs. And that is something, once again, that is so tough to do. The top 4 in a... But even if Twisted Minds have gone out here, they will stay in first place. So no problem at all. Surely has had a script for this one, but it's all thrown out. Twisted Minds is in all sorts of trouble. Maybe the second frag can't come. First, it's got the mid hands. Maybe that could succeed so far. Too much up. How tough it is. He's going to walk into Rune side by saying.
Looking to clean up the remainders now.
More than 45. Maybe it's going to be around there. You can see easy pick-up artifact. Opportunity to get a good chance at 2, maybe 3 frags. First one goes down.
Dodgy, but no, he's not going to be quick enough. He does unfortunately go down, but Marco's there to stop the nade. Can he get the confirm? He ought to climb.
Oh, yes, it is. That's the next shot's coming on through. It is a bit easier, and also face climb. The way the circle is right now, look, he has a pretty clear idea. He needs to rotate in, but he's taking his time. Yeah, he's creeping up now. Does he see him bombing out the smoke? Oh, he clutching it! A rich line in this. As you can see, still that one player in the distance. I think one of them was actually a hatch of the SLR, but is really close to it. Should get one, gets 2, maybe the third one. T-Bone is there to support him.
They've cleared the fight, but on the third final player for them, not in the same compound, so not going to worry about it. He's in that God compound, and BBT can focus on this fight that's coming in from the west-hand side. They've got to keep their heads down, secure sense. They can try and make them push there. Hitman comes over the top. We always know how much he can cause. Tekkers will get confirmed. Now, Twisted Minds winning the game, and they're just screaming and shouting.
In this phase as well, Example's already there with the passive fouls. It's Chris, there's just no chance. There was no...
This is going to be a clean 3 versus 3.
But they didn't even connect it with Gustav driving down. I think that would have happened at the same time. It would have been a big play, but Alpha was probably going to do in the next 20 seconds.
Well, I'll add to that.
The last shot off. Maybe he's got the second chance now. So they still have to make a really far drive. They have to exit the vehicle. They're both going to be taken down. He does get the last hits of both of them. This is really important. Very strong fighting as well.
Yep. Miramar done and dusted. The sands are soon have finished. And it has put time on the clock for some of these teams because they have skyrocketed their way forward. Teams who are so far down this table, FedEx, delivering back-to-back arguably good games, changes the lay of the land when it comes down to that top 16 at the moment.
Yeah, Mercy Gaming especially. We've got to talk about Mercy Gaming. Not only winning a round, but then also having this kind of performance. I thought that fight against WLA was kind of the start of it. That's where they gained the confidence. They were able to clean up that northeastern edge rather, and then they made their way over, and they immediately realized, wait, if Ibanana rotates in there, there's another team that we potentially have to face, and that kind of reduces the space that we can play off of. And as soon as they took down them, I knew it was going to be a top 3 for them for sure, and potentially even the qualification, because all these frags and all these placement points, they do add up, and second time in a row now, with them standing somewhere close to the 50 points mark, they might have just turned things around in a matter of, 2 games? So, yeah, massive stuff going out from Mercy Gaming.
Let's talk about that fight a bit more, because WLA shouldn't have allowed Mercy Gaming in. Like, that whole northeast section for me, I feel like WLA personally should have taken a fight with Kitchen. I think it really changed how they played the game. They backed away. They had run open terrain. They were picked up by our banana. Then they were kind of trying to hide in the compound. If they would have taken the fight there, or at least maybe taken Kitchen and pressured Kitchen so they had the space, they could have potentially then held out Mercy Game, because at that point, Felix, Mercy was still in the compound. They hadn't left the compound, and they got a completely free pass to push up onto Kitchen.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I also thought WLA was going to use the position they have to potentially fight Kitchen early on. But then again, maybe that fight wasn't meant to happen, because then obviously Mercy Gaming would have had an easier cross towards them and potentially would have third-partied them even earlier. And then Albanada would have just played out of the compound straight as they could. So maybe it was the right decision. Well, who are we to judge? But I can definitely understand if someone says that, yeah, that was just a tiny bit too passive. Either way, once again, Mercy Gaming now, with almost nothing to lose for the remaining 4 games. I think this is the first time in the tournament for them as well. They've always been under pressure points-wise, so I'm excited to see them play now without the big pressure on their shoulders. Because they are an incredibly talented roster, and they've shown us these guys can frag. Like, this isn't the first round we've seen glimpses of that. They have been fragging out on phase 1, 2, 3 in a couple of rounds here and there. It's just not been consistent.
Well, talk about consistency. It's time for us to move on. It's time to Tago. This one for me is always an interesting point of the evening, because sometimes we see players make gear changes. They make the position known that they actually are still here. They're still fighting. Flight path is going to be a northeast down towards a west, pushing towards a southwest. But it does push us towards that Godok. Does push us towards the island. Doesn't mean it's going to go there, but remember yesterday the crazy zone shifts that we had, where we expected the south side, but we went to the north with the island. So keep your eyes open for the first phase. Yeah,
couldn't agree more. We've had some interesting zones, to say the least, here on this map. And with this playing path, you might see a couple of shenanigans happening in early game as well. FaZe Clan has had a bit of trouble. Still has Ascend, for example, on the rotations. And this only time that we're playing this today as well. So I gotta be careful of using this chance and not throwing it away. FaZe Clan coming dangerous close now to the cars. They will lose the cars drop 2, so they will be forced inside the compound. You can see James, he's angry. He wants to at least punish someone for it. There is one flying in the distance. He immediately takes the weapon. Maybe he's got a chance, but I think the timing is just going to be too late. Unfortunately, FaZe is going to be left off with a rather, with a worse rotation timing, at the very least, now here on phase 1.
Well, we do know one thing about FaZe. It's not FaZe Sundays anymore. It's FaZe every day. So these guys are aggressive no matter what. And I think that just screams to it. James would looking to move forward. Now, Gustav does the handoff. Doesn't have players on the other side. Fex making his way rounds as he will find high ground. But coming back 3-8, well, it's going to be a difficult push for him. I think they know he's by himself as well. Zone has shown. He's up on that the main island. Does hold on towards where sort of fishing camp and Navi's location are. So we'll come back to that in a second. But Gustav, pinpoint accurate, knows where his man is. Heard the sound cues. I think he's going to try and piece together Fex. If he can now hold him on the rock, and I wouldn't be too surprised. We can see if Grexy and James are in the cart. They might swing on past and get the final blow, the final kill. It is, and he will fall on the sword of Gustav. That there screams about how well FaZe are playing, right? Gustav held, Fex then held the other side of the rock. And hey guys, we've got this guy pinned in. Just send the car round.
Yeah, perfectly played from FaZe Clan. They're not letting anything disrupt their game. And especially in phase 1, where you have to be extra careful of not making a stupid mistake, because you haven't secured any points just yet. That's when FaZe Clan is usually playing the most methodical kind of PUBG, and this time around it's been a good indication of that. And didn't even try to rest that teammate, didn't even try to make any move towards helping him. They were just too far gone, and they realized, well, FaZe Clan is all around them anyways. There's literally nothing we can do. They even before FaZe Clan, I think, even were approaching the compound, they knew they are going to approach this compound, and we're not going to get there in time. That's how sure they were of FaZe Clan playing this one. Just really methodical.
Is just pinpoint accurate. No W. I'm going to look on the other side. They will know. So the other day they had Secure Ascension, which are through at the moment. They are in a qualifying spot, and I can't see them getting knocked out. But they obviously took the fight with them, and Entropic did actually come out on top, or nearly came out on top, and Seifu saved the day. I think you guys would have seen the clips on social media. LW will be fully aware there is a team lurking, and they will know exactly who they are. Talk about lurking. Well, Footy Sports have just got themselves over the bridge. If he goes for a send, Nixie unfortunately pulls up. He's got a tyre for a bit of cover. They can't get the pressure up, the knock on him. He's coming back now. That's a car I don't want to be in if you're trying to push a Footy Sports.
No. Definitely not. AP now with all players actually towards that eastern side, straight to the coastline. Is going to be able to pressure for a little bit back here. You can see Mogor even has decided now to rotate away from it. The positions have now been turning around in favor of VP, at least for this tiny bit. And there's another casualty. There's Lil W, I think, picking someone up. Haven't really seen these guys in the last 2 games. They've shown us a massive performance in day 1 when we were asking ourselves, is it going to be consistent? I said I doubt it. It's too good of a day. The question around if they're going to be able to catch Twisted Minds was the big part of what we wanted to talk about. And this time it didn't look likely, judging with the first 2. And this time around, it's not looking any better. Entropic, they need big rounds, and they need especially this fight to go their way.
They do. They've already lost 1. JETZT is DBNO, but not out. They've got 2 down. Here comes the push. Hawkeye with the flash will go up now, looking to try and make the breach, but smoke will cause the issue. Opts not to go, and maybe the calls to try and get the res. So, difference in play style. Entropic last game would have continued to make that push even as a solo. Well, nades come in. Door has been closed. JETZT will now lurk out, and Janny is going to try and hold them for the res. So, different style here from Entropic, but it is critical. They do finish as 1 of 3 versus 4. And unfortunately for them, JETZT has been unleashed to be able to get that re-knock.
Player goes down. Lil W suddenly has all 4 players left standing. It's quite the big turnaround. Everyone's been helping each other. Everyone's been covering really, really nicely. And also the utility play has been quite well. That is a massive, massive nade. The fact that it pops right on top of him. Yeah. Sure, it didn't down him, but the fact that it was thrown that nicely just goes to show you that is that is a true professional on the other side. That's not an easy throw. But
it's definitely not.
Janny's going to stay alive in a tough position. He can't really cross. That's the big problem.
Hawkeye, he's in 2 minds. Whether sitting in the garage or sitting on the outside. He takes a nade and he's got to get a med on. He hasn't got a lid, so let's be cautious. Janny's been completely isolated. Entropic's game is falling apart slightly. They're a team that need to change things up. They're a team that needs to change gears, but they've only got 2 to do it. This game 15 of 18, and Hawkeye, well, he gets the first one. It's going to change. There's a quick kill confirmed. Blazer does pick Janny. That means Hawkeye's the final player. Let's see what he can do. He picks the second one up, but the Bears are collapsing down. But Esports is there, and they're going to cause enough damage to end it. And Entropic will fall in the 16th place. It doesn't seem anything they do at the moment. Entropic just can't get the gears rolling.
Unbelievable. Lil W at some point was in deep, deep trouble. It looked like Entropic was going to pick up that fight, but it just wasn't meant to be. And Lil W losing a player as well. I feel like now after the fact that they've rested everyone, I felt like the opportunity was definitely there to get cleanly out of this one. So losing Schengen is going to hurt them just a tiny bit. But then again, picking up 4 frags, you're already safely qualified. You're eliminating a team that is honestly and in as bad of a position as can be. Let's be honest, Entropic is one of the teams that you just do not want to have in the finals. And if the opportunity to take them out this early, you'll take it. So Lil W has indirectly just caused a huge problem for Entropic in terms of qualifying. There's another chance down, just 3 more chances, and they need 25, maybe even 30 points now in the remaining 3 games. And that's something they haven't shown us at all.
Well, I do need the points. Doozy might need the car, but teammates are there. Little bit of bump. As we'll make sure he's got all 4 wheels on the ground. They're going to get over and move on round towards the east. That bridge was an interesting shift, should we say. A lot of teams getting caught on that rotation. Then that's the bridge that everyone had to try and cross over. BBC team, they're going to be happy at the moment. They're going to sit on the outside of the palace. We do have the river rim, and those that we know, neither of us, we always harp on about how the water, how that river does kind of attract it. It draws the zone back to it. For now, teams got to figure out where they go. But with 1 down, there is a bit more space. There's some more prior position that could be had as these teams are spreading out and trying to find where they believe that the end zone is going to end up.
Tuho still in the process of rotating inwards as well. Kitchen in... Well, what can I say? Honestly, the worst position. Let's just put it like that. I mean, that is technically just a fact. 24th place. But then again, I think it's been a success story in and of itself for them to qualify here. They've had plenty of pauses in their PUBG esports career, and it's more of a lineup of friends. And I'm sure they wouldn't disagree with this one. I don't necessarily think they expected to make it through. They are an incredibly experienced lineup and so talented, but there's plenty of other teams that have put in, I want to say, more scrimmage work and more preparation than them. So for them to make it here, compete against a very top team, I think that is a success story in and of itself. So I think they're just happy to play around here. And even though it doesn't look likely, you still have 4 more chances. So I wouldn't count them out just yet. They're always good for a couple of upsets.
Definitely upsets. We saw it yesterday. Let's talk points though, because we've got that live leaderboard on the left side. For those that might have just joined in, this is the final day of the playoffs. There is no last chance. There's no opportunity. This is it. Every group or every team will play a series of 12 games, and we are working our way down. So this is the final go, and it is the final day. So we're looking for a top 16, and you're right. Inter, I think there's just too much now. It's the point where we start drawing the lines, and it is sad. And if you are an Inter fan, again, massive kudos. They have gotten here. They have worked through the qualifiers. They've got through potentially groups of 2, 5, 6, etc., all the way down to the player stage. Now, Iblana are also fighting in front of them. They're only a couple of points. I kind of got to draw lines potentially between them as well. I'm not really seeing the Iblana that we saw in qualifiers. Pin that at the moment. Blazer is actually dropping down right in the heart of Go Doc. Dangerous for Savage because they're a team that's in 19th place as well with only 31 points.
Yeah, they need to be careful of not going out too early here. And Savage is, as you said, one of the teams that is right at the cutoff. If they have a big game, then that cutoff is definitely going to be higher because realistically, BBL and FaZe are really close to taking over Hokkaido, and then Hokkaido is in the very last spot with 50 points. So realistically, we already know the cutoff is at least going to be 50 points. And then, depending on who's going to overtake it, right now it looks like Savage and Banana are the best kind of options. It's going to increase that cutoff point and maybe even catch a sense. So that's where we're at right now. Ladies and gentlemen, obviously, depending on how BB, WLA, and Hype and all these guys play, but realistically, they're going to get more than 5 points out of the next game. So just be reminded, this is a really important fight now for S4 and a really non-important one for VP, at least in the grand scheme of things.
And that's what you don't want, do you? VP, when take, lose, draw, makes no difference at the moment. They're winning that placement point. They're well above any potential cutoff, I believe, sitting at 74. And Nixie, he's just looking to enhance the mechanical skills, and there goes one. And S4, well, they know the Polar Bears are starting to breach. As he's trying to look, he actually jumps up on the car to dodge the nade. That is huge.
Massive. Nixie picking up Bukaov. He's on the same kind of angle. It's a really cheeky angle as well if you've played this compound or this city before. There's plenty of buildings all around, but you can take that angle. It's a pretty strong one. Though, Savage are playing on 2 fronts, and they will at least be able to compete against one of them, which is Lil W, as they will have a casualty as well.
Yep, Nixie's trying to figure out. You can hear the shots, just can't quite see it. So he's waiting for the little breach. So he throws that molly. He's just trying to tick off that there's no one there. Savage, yeah, they're off fight on 2 fronts now. Maybe argue even say 3. Now, Skrill can put players away. We've already seen that. Your W looking to try and get the res. There's one confirmed, so down to a 3. Don't forget, and there's a re-knock. Nade will come through. Blazer back down. He spent most of this round, unfortunately, DBNO. But if you're DBNO, you still have an opportunity to get picked up. Nixie now with a push, comes over the top. Great flash, and that's clean. There's one, and well, the nade will finish off the others. And Nixie, I don't think he's going to stop. He's going to be trying to look for any of these S4 players that are lurking in the smoke.
Not sure what more Lukarux can do here. As I say that, he's going to pick Flores down to the ground. It's a good one, especially since Squall is in the process of rotating off, so he's not going to be able to get res back up. VP is kind of the only winner out of this entire fight. Lil W sure as hell hasn't won. And, well, to be honest, Savage really hasn't, with 2 players just about rotating off. You can tell by the way they play that which team really has stuff to lose and which team doesn't. As for making sure they at least have 2 more players to play with. Now, meanwhile, though, it's going to be 2 teams fighting off that will also fight potentially in the EWC, or for them qualifying. It's a big one. And for versus opening things up. Spyro as well. Faceland seems to be in a troublesome spot. But then again, BB team did have the massive positional advantage. Best of luck with another one. Vex goes down. Gustav and Jeans, last one's alive. Gustav returns, plenty of damage, but Spyro's still alive.
Insane. I don't know if you've seen the map. It's pulled all the way down. It's gone back to the river. We still have summer fishing camp in, but for now, this is the outside on the northeast corner. BB need to close it out. 9 opportunities for 1. Gustav puts down some great shots, but it's down to James and FaZe. Well, they got to disengage. They need to work their way. Yes, they're in 16th spot at the moment, but other teams below them, if they have good games, potentially FaZe might get knocked out, and that's not what he needs. 3 points on the board. He's going to now find a little hunker or bunker to go into, and we'll try and play out mid-game. There you go. Yeah, he put up, give or take, middle of zone. Very, very dangerous end zones here. water does need to go. How far does it retract up to north? I think we're going to have a huge question where this one's going to end up.
Yeah. Good stuff from James, at least making it out alive. That's more than I expected. He obviously knew he couldn't drive back. Na'Vi, ooh, in trouble. Diffex is knocked inside the car. Josek goes down as well. I think that's 2 knocks that could potentially be picked up by them. And if they would even want to win this, Fairis goes down as well. Oh my lord, they're just destroying Na'Vi at the moment. And Hypebeast, they've had such a good day one. We just cannot keep talking about it. Cannot stop talking about it, excuse me. And this is a good indication of how strong they were. Na'Vi trying to make it away. Trying to just drive off into the sunset, but it's not happening. Hype being that, hitting the shots. 3 players down, just 1 player left standing now for Na'Vi.
2 for Savage. I disengaged. VP actually have moved out from Godok as well. Godok's always a funny, even most of the times for me, but Godok's always one that we see it have the zone, but it gives it up so quickly. And lucky enough, there wasn't as many teams in there. You can see Int, who are rotating around in the top there. They'll be coming through Godok and out the other side. VP, when they moved out the city to the outside edge, they're going to continue to follow with the shots that BB team as they will try and rotate path using the valleys well. This is where Tego comes into his own. Yes, I think there's an argument to say there is a lot of open terrain, but there are dips, there are crevices. You can keep the cars alive, but you need to know where to park them.
Yeah. You need to save them, especially because it feels like with this circle shift, there's lots of open space, and having cars later on is going to be incredibly beneficial. T-Bone, he has that blue zone grenade ready, but he wants to wait for his teammates to kind of rotate out of the compound and potentially support him, because he knows BB team, the rest of them, are probably going to follow sometime soon, and that's the first one, first. In my opinion, the biggest trigger for the team, one of the biggest reasons as well on why BB team is so damn strong at the moment and in the current form they are. But it's only 2 plays, and it's 3 at the moment rotated out of the compound already. So for esports, at least having a man advantage in this fight.
Yeah, we've got to lose the water as well. Zone shifted its way back up, so BB will be here. Don't forget, they won't have a lot of intel here, so the question is, do they know actually T-Bone's that close that the Foot Esports could cause some damage? Looks like Foot are going to try and take the fight on the outside edge. They'll put 1 down, and unfortunately for Int, they are still outside of zone at the moment, trying to rotate their way in. So if you want to know where I'm getting information from, there is a map stream, guys. So we'll make sure there's a link in chat for you, so you can watch on long and see where these teams are rotating their way in. For now, Kitchen's on the east, trying to find their way in. Got 1 knock, though, from Foot Esports, who are in some hard cover, trying to deny any of these teams entry, especially towards their location.
Savage eliminated. It's a good message for everyone who's been a fan of Hokkaido and Ascent once more. As for the one runner-up team that is the closest right now to a qualification spot for any Savage fan, that is bad news, obviously, but they will have 3 more chances. Just 1 good game could potentially be enough to take down Hokkaido and get the 16th spot, at least for the time being. Realistically, a 15-point, 16-point game could be enough. So we're going to have to wait and see. Once again, 3 more chances for them. At the moment, Savage are bringing the confidence they need. VP does, on the other hand, coming off of that massive win now on Miramar, has got an similar opponent right in front of them again, with Mercy standing a couple of meters away, just towards the western side. Look at this, Quizzy and Nixie. I think they know this.
Yeah, there's smoke down there. So that's a big indication anyway. Probably they're in a little valley. Yes, you might keep your car safe, but unfortunately, nades roll downhill. Nixie will push the shots forward. And he has pushed the nade into the right position. He has moved over. Bookert's on one side. They are going for a split. Resmoke will come back up. And Nixie deploying the 3 times. Famous has the shorter mag, but he also catches the head moving back. So that's huge amounts of intel being gathered here from Nixie. And he lays out some shots, but he doesn't have the extended mag. You can't put it on that gun. And we saw it yesterday. It did fall short when it came to bullets. But lucky enough for him, he's got the distance where Mercy Gaming can't really throw any punches back just yet.
No, Quizzy still holding the smoke. But VP, I don't think they're really sure on whether or not they want to take this. I think they want to wait for the next circle shift to realize, hey, do we need to fight this? Do we need the space? Do we have other options from Ibiza's and Lukarux's position? But they would at least want to put out the pressure. They don't want to let Mercy be just chilling around this corner. They want to let them waste their smokes already. Let them be sure that someone is watching them. And maybe, who knows, maybe even get a knock. There's the car really driving down. There's another hard cover spot potentially being taken away. But with that nade hitting, they might be in a bit of trouble. Now, I expect the Bees and Lookaroos to group up now any second and for them to clear out this edge.
Yeah, they need to apply pressure. And obviously, for Mercy Gaming, he was sitting on the outside. So he's stored in the bushes of Dago. So they don't know where he is. Know where Bokati is. But at least what they have gained is information. They now know it's Mercy in front. They have pushed their way back here. Lukrux is still holding it angle. Thank you for the map. And they are looking back. Ownership's back. Bumble Squad find themselves yet again potentially in a placement point game. There are 11 teams. We still have a few more to descend, but they are sending out some shots. It looks like WLA making a huge push towards Hype Beast, and they fall in 11th, which means they might be falling down the table again.
BB team now being breached. Kitchen really close to it. This is a good breach, actually. First initial knocks really going your way, but how much damage do you really have to do? Because FUT Esports is already looking right at you from above, but having third party as well. This is just turning out to be disastrous for almost everyone except for our Banana. Even my Banana is now lost a player. Bloro goes down by, I do believe, T-Bone. So everyone's been losing players at this point, but one thing's for sure, Kitchen has been taken out, and BB team is only with one player, maybe even two players left standing, but I think one of them is knocked, so I think they've been significantly weakened too. So FUT Esports in big trouble, as I've said. Not only need to fight against Banana, but also potentially against Sheila.
Dangerous.
We'll have to take a look and see where he's going to rotate in. Looks like he has set his sides on Banana.
4 nades. He's got 4 nades, Fadex. Surely he's going to dump you two and then start spraying.
This could be so good. This could be so good. Oh my lord. He sees the first player. He wants to knock one and then obviously shoot at the other one. Nate falls down to his feet. Do they know where he is? No, they have no idea. Sheila takes that one. The second one too. Karchak goes down. Get the flush. Then the rest back up with the first aid. And he will do exactly that. He's got a little bit more time now to do some more damage. And FUT Esports, look at this. They've realized this. They know Sheila is there on the edge. And Sheila needs to move now as well. Flash comes in. FUT Esports may have just gotten a huge wild card because of Sheila doing so much damage.
Oh, he needs to run forward. You're not going to get the med on. Go. Launches late. Sees no one. Information will come through. That'll be the intel. The shots will come out. He didn't get the reload. He's stored there. Sheila is being pushed by the blue, but being pushed to take out Banana. Another nade will come through. Flora fully flashed now. He's going to try and get the med on where he can, but it will be claimed. Only the blue zone can stop BBL. It's 9th place, but it's another couple of kills. BBL are swinging their way as they now sit in 14th place. 53 points on the precipice, but it does mean no Ascender falling down.
Yeah, that's what it means. BB team overtaking them. FUT Esports overtaking them. Plenty of teams now. WLA are obviously also above them. We said all of these teams just need a couple of more points to push Ascend further down. They started this day in 6th place. Goes to show you 50 points is gonna be close. Hokkaido's right behind it. FaZe Clan there as well, still with a player left alive. You saw James with that crazy rotation, and he's found himself apparently pretty good spot. Big circle shift though means almost everyone needs to move. The good thing for FUT Esports at least is there is only one other team that has all 4 members alive, and through all these skirmishes now, which have been 4 or 5 almost, BB team, WLA, so on and so forth. There's only one team really close to them, and that's BB team, but they're only alive with the solo. So they could potentially get more space here on that eastern side.
Space will be key. Nades will be even better, as Lucarux will pinpoint accurately deny BB team the opportunity to come in. 6th place then, 5 teams. It's going to start falling quite quickly as everyone fighting on the outside edge. Right, get 2 minutes. It's worth noting. Smoke one, unfortunately, we have to say goodbye to. They are now in 17th place. FaZe are on that 16 point, but it is a high 40 point. Yeah, to 40 to 50. It has gone the other way, Felix. We thought it might do if the points start spreading themselves out. It means the bar gets higher and higher each round we go. This is map number 3. We do have 6, so there are 3 more after this one. So if you're Ascend, for Aikido, you'll be sitting on the edge, waiting, watching, and praying. The remaining teams that are below this bar do not put good games on.
This time around, it's a pretty good setup for them, though, because everyone who's getting points now, the big points, is
above.
Are above you on the leaderboard. So this is right now a pretty chill game to watch for everyone that is still, not able to play today and is still hanging on for dear life when it comes to qualification. Bumble squad have made their way in as well. They've had a huge game. And even though they will go out in 5th place, they've done what they needed to do, which is secure a couple of more points, get used to the lobby, and prepare for the finals.
The teams which we're looking for is, and unfortunately not in the top 4 at the moment, it's going to be the Savages. If they can put a good game on, I've got to write off Banana, I've got to write off Ints and Entropic as well. And Kitchen, I don't think they can have 3 great games that are going to push them above a 50-point mark. I think it's just too far out. So if that is the case, logic is FaZe potentially could get in. If Savage can get in as well, does that mean we say goodbye to Aikido? Potentially, they might just find themselves. We get that high or that high 40s into the 50-point mark as our cutoff point. For now, though, we've got 4 teams remain. VP with 4, WLA with 3, Foot with 3, and Mercy Gaming yet again find themselves in the top 4 position, but this time only 1 player.
VP's approaching. It's a 2-2 split again. VP is really liking this, and I thought it was a 3-1 split actually. VP is really liking this if they have the space to do so, but I think they should know that Foot Esports is alive with 3 players just around the corner, so we're going to have to wait and see how it works. For now, I'm expecting them to play a little bit more passively once more. We've seen them close out these games really methodical, which means just make sure not losing any player too early and using the cars and utility to the best of your advantage. So this is interesting. Who's going to fight who first? Because WLA has the opportunity to pressure everyone coming in, but what happens afterwards? Because VP has nothing but open space as far as I can tell, and they have another solo to the edge that they're rotating towards. Whereas Foot has at least some hard cover, but then again is also open to WLA. So this is troublesome. You can see VP, they don't really necessarily know where to go. I think they're just scouting around for any kind of rock they can play off of, and Nixie has found the first one. Yeah,
this is hard end zone. I think Rondo gets a lot of pressure from this as well, but open terrain. Oh no, sneaky. There's another one. Or it'll be the first one. Oh, he gets denied. They should be able to get the rest. I think he's just about in zone, but they've got to send it quick, and there they go. 4th place for Mercy. No kills, but it's all placement points.
That is horrible right now. Anybody's was not flushed. I felt like he wanted too much there. I think maybe take another second behind the rock, then peek around, maybe use your nades. I think he had one. Would have been perfect, but yeah. Nothing really changes because the rest is getting picked back up. VP knows if they drive over there, I mean, Foot is just going to stretch around the eastern side as well, and then they will have to fight almost impossible positions. So VP couldn't really punish this. Interesting. Still 3 on 4 on 3. Tough for everyone, as you said. Massive open space in the middle of all these teams.
Who do you think is going to take this?
Man, that's such a tough prediction. You're putting me on the spot. I mean, the way VP has been playing these end games, I think methodical. I cannot stress this enough. They've been so methodical. They're thinking about each and every single one of these steps that they have to take to get to the chicken dinner. And then on top of that, they have the man advantage. But we know how PUBG can be. You know, sometimes you think you've got it, and then suddenly you don't a second later. So tough for me to call.
It's a tough to call, but I think you're right. Methodical play. They got a knock on WLA. Do you see them reposition the cars then towards that sort of west side? They are focusing on WLA. For eSport kind of made the call here, and T-Bone has just fully sprinted across open terrain. He launches a nade out. He's got one more. It's going to be over. It's going to explode. It's going to tell Lucarux there's someone potentially in nade range. So maybe pop some smokes. I think we're going to see a 2-2 split now from VP because they do have the extra gun advantage.
Yeah, VP has now gathered lots of information. T-Bone, unfortunately, not hitting the nade means VP is aware of his position now. But it's a game of utility at this point, because VP has no positions, as far as I can tell. Maybe one at Lucarux where anyone can be safely without a smoke. And if they run out of smokes, I think the same goes for the esports with the 2 players in the back lines. If they run out of smokes, it's over, right? They're just going to be relying on their weapons. So this is really, really tough. Good blue zone grenades up on the rock. They really want to flush out Lucarux. For the esports, you can tell, heavily focused now on VP. They know VP, the one team with 4 players alive.
It's difficult. It is difficult. T-Bone doing the right thing. Again, arguably stole that run. How he got there, I think an element of VP pressure going on towards WLA, and they would get themselves up. They're now repositioning now. They know the danger's coming from the other side. WLA going to have to try and launch a smoke. So this is going to come down to how much util these teams have in their back pockets for the final zones. Luke Rocks over the top. Oh, but he punishes. Ainty goes down. He's used the inches that he got for height advantage on that rock to perfection.
And now it's going to come down to the smokes. And the way I know VP, they probably have still got some smokes left. I see a couple of folded sheets down there as well. EB gets popped through the gap, though. This might just make the difference. Squizzy at least has one more smoke. And WLA is now all out in the open as well. Nixie hits a couple of more bullets, but it's only very minimal damage being dealt as we have phase 9 approaching. Everyone's going to be forced into the middle. Lukarooks gets another one. I think that is 2 down now for WLA. Just going to give them a little bit more breathing room.
Breathing room. And they've still got the util. There goes the dumpers of the finals. They are going to take advantage that Footy Sports are in nade range and are consolidated together. Doesn't quite get the knock. The damage does go spread across foot. It's a 4 versus 3 versus 3. There goes more of a dump over towards the other side. I love it. They just throw util and they go, oh, let's go back to WLA. But WLA punish. It's a P90 that picks apart not just 1 but 2. And Moss will lay down. There's a quick confirm. There's 1, 2. Footy Sports have got to activate here if they want to try and clear and take that zone away. But VP looks so strong. And the opportunity to take a back-to-back chicken dinner might have just been stolen away.
I think it might have been stolen away indeed. They were the first team that really had to move very far, and they've just been in the crossfires of both of these teams at the same time. That goes MVP as the first team, and it's just WLA now left alive, and they just have to look at this zone. But
oh my God.
Somehow Fate still gets an option. He's only got 4 bullets left. And 15 in total. I think surely that is not going to be enough. No, it isn't. Foot Esports finishes out this game. 16 points for them. And they are one of the teams that also haven't really been in big struggles in terms of qualifications. But maybe that is still a good way to finish off this last day of the playoffs. Because then again, they've really missed this really big round. And the confidence levels are going to be through the roof now.
That was so good from them. So good. That P90 came as a clutch at the end. VP, they were spreading their rings, flexing the muscles, looking for a back-to-back chicken dinner, but it was taken away from them. Well, what we are going to do is we're going to take it away from you guys. We're going to go to a quick break. When we come back, though, it is time for Rondo, and we are in the second half of the evening. they go, done. Rondo time, and everyone knows I am an agent of chaos, so I do like this map. But I want to talk about the potential point cut-off line. We just get the leaderboard ready. We'll bring that up in a second. But Felix, we are talking about, we expect FaZe now to go through, so it comes down to Team Savage. I've got to draw a line, and I know my line was wrong yesterday. Okay, before you pick me out about my wrong line yesterday, but I've got to draw a line at some point. The Bananas, etc. I just can't see him having a huge game, but Savage potentially could do. They've got to get to the 50-point mark. That's where Hakido is, and obviously we do like the team. We are hoping they will qualify. But Savage at the moment, they're putting, well, 3.8 on the board. They need to be more consistent. They need to get their points up on average if they want to stand a chance, because it is possible. It is possible. We're talking 5 points a game, 5.3 points a game that they need, but they do need to pick up their average.
Yeah, I'm looking at the scoreboard right now. I think it's definitely possible. As you said, they need to pick up their points average, but I don't even think it's going to be about the average. I think they need that one big game, because if that doesn't happen, then honestly, have you really deserved it in the end? Usually, in a situation like this, we always see these last couple of teams that do in the end make it in. Like Ascend, I think it's been a perfect example of this. Have that one big round or just nothing. Continuously starting to pick up points now and suddenly becoming consistent in a lobby like this that's just as competitive as it gets. Normally, just doesn't happen. Let's be honest, just normally it really doesn't happen. So I'd be surprised to see them suddenly started off with consistency. But a single good game, maybe a couple of good zone shifts, that's definitely still in the cards, and it's not too far off. You said you draw the line. I wouldn't even go that far. We said we draw in the... I mean, start of the day, I drew the line below Mercy even. And suddenly Mercy with a couple of games is easily in the running, even above Ascent now. And they're going to continue picking up points throughout the next games. I'm sure of that as well. So my opinion, it's too early to count out. And I don't want to jinx you again, but I think...
No, you do it.
I think there's a couple of more teams with a good chance.
We only need one more. But you are right. It's going to be a good game, and they either need to go hook or by crook. Savage looked better in that last round. We break down the gameplay. They were gaming to Godok. Yes, they got caught on a fight between VP that were pushing them out of Godok, and obviously they got Lol W playing in as well. So they got caught on multiple fronts. I think if they can take clean fights, it might be an interesting ending. But it will be a storyline that we'll be definitely watching as we go in. Most of the teams, though, from this group are already above that. You mentioned Mercy Gaming, but that is good for teams like Ascend. That is good teams for Aikido, because they're done, they're past, right? They know they're going to be around that cut-off point line. The question has to come down to, is it going to be 50-point cut-off now? Are we going to potentially see it leak into a low 50s? And if it starts to leak into a low 50s, if the Bananas have a good game, if the Savages have a good game, they're teams that could potentially squeeze them out. I don't think it can, but Rondo, it's all to play for. As I said the other day, I still think this is a map that the teams haven't quite worked out how to play it just yet. Yeah,
I mean, looking at the leaderboard, you were talking about these teams down there that could potentially still make it, like iBanana, like Inter. Banana has shown us a couple of really good instances now in the last couple of games, I want to say. Not only on Miramar, but now, just recently, look at the fight they've had against Foot Esports. If not for that solo, that would have been a good game as well. So, man, who am I to count out even iBanana at this point? And right now, with FaZe Clan in the next 3 games, surely overtaking a Kaido, and BBL probably overtaking Ascent as well, and FaZe Clan probably overtaking Ascent too, it will probably be 50-point cutoff already, and if Kaido gets overtaken, that's 53. So we are already, most likely, like 99%, we're already at a 50-point cutoff. And it just completely confirms the theory that we had at the beginning, that this cutoff point is going to be higher than usual. Looking at it though, Savage, 50-point cutoff, that's 16 points. 17 points to overtake in 3 games. We've seen crazier stories. Same goes for Banana. They're just 4 points below that. That's a good game. A dinner puts them above potentially a Kaido. So the opportunity for not only Banana and Savage to overtake Hokkaido and Ascent, it is there. And these are the 2 teams that we need to focus on right now. Hokkaido and Ascent, not yet qualified. And once again, that is the big storyline here.
It is a storyline of 2 halves, but it is now time. It's Risky Rondo, and more importantly, we've got a split screen. What does that mean? It means we have a double flight path. It's controversial. We don't know who's in your plane, but we've got one coming in from the east down towards the southwest, and then from the southwest, we've got one sending it north, as we are got 2 different decisions. A level of complexity that is the first time we're seeing on a bigger stage. These teams will now try and jump to where they believe they will not get into hassle.
That's how it is. You will, because of the playing path, you will favor different loose spots, obviously. there's no real big reason to camp out as late because there's going to be less teams around you at the beginning anyways, which is why we also will see less hot drops potentially, but then again,
I think we get more. I think we get more. I do think we get more. Because you don't know who's in the plane, Felix. You don't know. So you might be going...
Fair, but there's also more loose spots open. So unless, if you really want to contest, yes, go ahead and take your favorite loose spots. I feel like there's more opportunity to dodge around. And in a playoff like this, in the finals it's different, but in a playoff like this, is there really a reason to with the last 3 games?
And a bigger map as well. We've got to factor in there are more cards, more compounds, more space. But these are 2 teams that might want a little bit of space themselves. As Gianni is seeing the parachute, but he's going full send. It might just be a car and go. Surely get in the car and get out of here.
Meakin is... Might still be in range. Gianni has found a weapon now. Okay, so I think that might just have been a couple of steps too late. And yeah, he knows the sidelines are not perfect, so Gianni's going to go back into the building and loot. And yeah, interestingly enough, really close to each other, but no hot drops so far. And I think that will probably be the only real skirmish for the time being for phase 1. Because the circle is all the way on the other side of the map. It's going to be a very long rotation path, I think, for both of these teams.
And with the double flight path, we've now seen the return of the zone is not subject to the flight path. And if you're not quite sure what I'm talking about, historically with PUBG and PUBG esports, with that first zone that we see, it used to always have to go through the flight path. Now, Tego came around and that was disruptive because that was the first time we saw they were not connected. And we have seen it on Rondo, even with a single flight path, that the first circle is not always subject to the flight path. So it's causing, again, differences. But the differences we need now is these teams down below to get some points on the board. Entropic want the big game. Gianni has to tuck back in as the initial shots come out from into the Hawk. He's there with the Hawkeyes. He lays it down. M4 spray will finish him. And there's the first point. It's good to see Entropic. Maybe the second half of the final day for them is what they need to drive themselves into qualification.
A good initiative from Entropic. I thought they weren't going to fight, but Entropic indeed did engage it. I'll take it back. Entropic picking up the first frag as well. I don't think Int realized that Entropic was going to do this or even was about to engage anyone. And thus they have been relatively... Yeah, they have been surprised. Let's put it like that. No one was close. No one really had silence on it. I think even before he actually had to play inside the compound, he just saw someone driving by to spot for information. And even at that point, he thought, well, it's just going to be someone driving by. He probably doesn't know I'm looting here. No one else is going to breach me, and then the rest of them coming in. And definitely looked like they had no idea this was going to happen. And Entropic, as you said, they need these points. That's a good start, taking initiatives all around, take control of the round. Stuff like this is what you see when teams get desperate for some easy points. And 1 point in the end, out of the next 20 games have been played with that 50-point cutoff mark already, could very well be the difference maker.
There's a difference maker. Points. Oh, points. We're down to 3. Now, we saw Ints on the first day of the qualifications. They went every game. Was it 5 out of 6? They lost a player early. But arguably, there was a number of games they found themselves actually getting the points for the placements. I'm talking point now is Navi's got to get moving because that EMP zone is right on top of him. Obviously, if you get caught in that when it does disrupt, it means all your cars will be disabled for a period of time, and obviously things like red dots as well. We have actually seen it clash as well. We saw the other day where on the south side we had an EMP zone where actually stopped teams from rotating in and they were forced to fight.
Emergency pickup coming in from Savage. One of the teams to watch. We said they are part of this big storyline now with the Kaido sent Savage and potentially also the rest of the teams. If they really have one more big game now to close up to Savage and that 50-point pot cut off, they will be heading towards the deep circle center. Mercy's there already. FaZe is there. LOW towards the northern side with a massive split too. As we have all the teams slowly but surely making their way in. VP with a car rotation as well, so it looks like one of the only teams really going for their emergency pickup is going to be Savage. Look at this. They've even found a car towards the northern road.
Worth noting, the high ground guys is we do see the zone pull back towards those big rock pillars. So just watch that, watch where teams go. Obviously the E pickup gives you the advantage there, but you've got the gliders as well. You could fly your way to victory maybe. Different game style here from Mercy on their second day of playoffs. It definitely looks like they are playing centralized compounds. They are looking to try and take position early. PWD, well, he's just highlighting some high grounds, as we spoke about. That's what I was just talking about, and that's why there is a player lurking in the midst. Now, he hasn't made the full height, but he is going to cause some problems, and that is a very difficult shot to hit. But PWD, we know he's cracked. He's going to give it a good go.
Some good shots. I felt like he zeroed it really, really well, but I think Floyd is behind a little bit of cover, so he's not ready to be touched. And Floyd is just going to wait this one out as well. His position isn't necessarily, at least not yet, one where you really should walk around and peek. If you do get spotted out that early, if you do get knocked, there's no one really going to be able to save you. You've only really gotten up there because of the emergency parachute. Next rotation coming in, Kitchen. Talking about big games, 16 points. One big game, definitely needed. A second one as well.
Yep.
And they have at least secured a relatively centralized good position now in phase 1.
Still 3 games. You're right. Maybe my drawing of lines, I'm too aggressive. Maybe I need to put them in pencil so I can rub them out and move them, because there is arguments you could get in. You do need 3 good games. I should like myself a base on what we've seen so far in the playoffs, and some teams just haven't really dialed it in. Doesn't mean they can't, but so far over the games they've had, they've not been able to deliver the goods. Spyro, well, he's able to deliver the car back to its 4 wheels after hitting the rock and showing us the beautiful cherry blossom that is on Rondo. I do like this map. I know people will hound me for it, but I do like it. There's so much different styles of terrain. So if we are getting different end circles, it's especially with one map, one game for Rondo versus the next game could be polar different.
Yeah. Our own take overall, I want to say, have given us quite a good variety in terms of circles. Miramar circles have been a little bit more similar to each other, I'd say. And we've seen similar performances also on Miramar, potentially as a result of it. I don't know, potentially. Then again, each and every circle does have its own storyline.
Yeah, definitely. That last game yesterday.
Yeah, that was one that I would cherish. A memory that I would cherish for obvious reasons. Either way, BB team right around the corner from Bumble squad, with WLA rotating inwards as well. We might just look at a potential 3-way fight, but I think WLA is trying to take the further wrap around towards these.
They are. Level consistency as well for Bumble squad. 35 kills, 32 kills, 26 placement points. So they are getting up there. They found themselves in the second place, even as a solo, and arguably with the zone shifting away from them. So centralish towards the south. They are going to hope the zone pulls back down towards their high ground. For now, BB team, they lurk on one side. WLA, who desperately need the points, will be lurking on the other side. They want to ensure they maybe send up the lobby a little bit more. But for now, looks like Mads is going to ensure BB team will keep on rolling.
The squad has been dangerously close to plenty of teams now throughout phase 1. But nothing really working out in terms of kill points being secured. They will still stand on that 0-point mark. Luckily for any Bumble squad fan, which I am partly as well, but solely based off of that name. I love it. The good news is we will see them next week. So in case you've not marked it in your calendars, it is Saturday and Sunday, the finals. And obviously we have the third day as well, depending on how depending on how the first 2 days go, depending on how Twisted Minds plays, especially, let's be honest. Depending on if Twisted Minds will be able to score that 100 points already on the second day of the finals. So 3 days of finals will await you. And
just to remind you guys, it will be Friday where we kick things off. We have 6 games. We are playing the Smash Rules. And then on Saturday, if a team hits 100 points, that's the last game. So it could be the second game in, if it was technically what we've seen already in the playoffs. Could be the third, could be the fourth, could be the fifth, could be the seventh, etc. But once a team hits 100 points, then we will stop day number 2. Then we'll come back on Sunday And then it's a team that is already over 100 points and bags themselves that winner chicken dinner. Well, for now, the zone shifts away. Hopefully, we're going to get that stadium ending that I really want to see. But there are some teams already here. Int is one of them. VP, well, they're a team that could easily put on a 100-point show on day number 2. Let's see if they can deal with our pans up, because they are pushing into a bit of a trap.
Ama is waiting for Ibi to make that mistake, to push around the corner. Should be an easy pickup for him if EB does. But EB, most of the times, he's too smart for situations like this. I think he expects him to some degree.
Surprise.
But
Oof.
then again, it's a Panzerfaust. And, well, I'd love to hype this, but it's a Panzerfaust. There's nothing you can do about it. I think Emma knows this. Yes, he's shooting in the air, and he's like, do I really deserve this frag? Well, I guess you do, my friend. I guess you do. 3 more angry VP players want to punish you for it, though. This is a massive nade. Not cooked well enough, though. And it will bring VP back towards the other side of the warehouse. He's got the opportunity to get some cover from his teammates who have just now closed the distance. But for now, he's all alone.
He's got 2 big gaps here. He's done one. He needs to go for the second one as the guys are dancing the dance as they go round the outside edge. Here comes the cover from the rest of Int as they're looking to provide some cover. He's got an E flare. He's got the deployable cover. That's not going to help. Blue Crux will put one of the cover down, so that's blowing apart the angle, which will allow VP, if they want to continue wrapping around the compound. He's in a good position. Nixie needs to activate and come out the other side. And, oh, he's actually been squished. Oh, my God. He's been flattened by his own deployable cover. How is that happened? That is insane. And I always knew that was a possibility that could happen. And we've just seen it on the playoffs. He got squished by Dorito.
That is absolutely nuts. That is nuts. Lukarux pushes out the corner, gets the last frag.
Oh, my God.
I think
he got
frags
flattened.
are not the crazy thing. Have we ever seen that in esports?
Never.
I don't think so either, right?
Never.
That is unbelievable. I think people have been... I remember Beerbank, who was the streamer, always going for these crazy frags. I think he was the one trying that in ranked for hours on end, trying to eliminate the last play in the round with this one. But to smash yourself in an esports game, that's a whole different league, isn't it? That's very unfortunate. It's definitely going to be a clip for the history books. Wow.
That there is insane. And you know he's thrown it behind himself to try and get cover to run. The question is, was he running and got caught?
Yeah.
Or whether he actually opted surfing.
So
how's he naded himself at the top? Oh my God, Hober's naded it himself and they're not able now to get the res. So WLA have just lost
no way
numbers. Hold on, is anything lucky enough?
Yeah, I think there's anybody's over there, right?
Yes. Yeah. I thought it was only the 2.
Yeah,
lucky enough for them. Lucky, very lucky.
That would have been a chaos. You were asking for chaos. I mean, you're the agent of chaos, right?
Risky Rondo, mate. Risky Rondo. Talk about a risk. FaZe is now pushing in. Ooh. Savage, they need a big game. They need to defend off. Can they defend Gustav? No. He just pushes past him with the org in hand and said, hell no. This is going to be my building. Thank you very much. And now one of the Savage players will fall.
Gustav shattering the hopes and dreams of S4. That's another chance almost gone. Just 2 more players left standing. Wukao Vingzhen. It was the northeastern side. Rotating in. The good news is there's almost no one else there. The bad news is it's most likely not going to end there. I don't think we've seen the shifts. Well, the river does get favored to some degree, but it definitely doesn't end there. I've seen that. Yeah,
we've got the high ground.
Flying in now as well. Okay, well, I'll take it all back. I thought S4 was going to have a clean edge. W just flies in with 4 players.
Well, they looked to get the high ground. I think they saw the players on the top. That's why they opted not to go there. But now FUT Esports are going to expose the Pandas. The initial shots will come through. Empty's going to try and lay down, but Vard is close. Vard's going to get moving, not as moving as quick as T-Bone as he uses the guard to get right underneath here. Here's the util dump. He's got 2 nades in hand. Let's see if he can pinpoint, accurately find them. Sure, the util, sure, the comms, sure, the pins will be telling them where they are. Here goes the second nade out. The spray comes from the barrel, but nothing connected yet. But the pressure is being applied by FUT Esports.
FUT Esports, they want to make this happen, but they realize they're just at too big of a disadvantage to really close out this fight, and just not enough support. You can tell they're already driving away. 8 has now been spotted as well, so be careful. There's a Dragunov on the other side, and he's only got the MK. So it is going to be a one-shot headshot return if 8 does get caught. But he needs to support. He's done just that. FUT Esports are still with all 4 players left alive, and I think it's kind of a best-case scenario with the way they breached this.
Is good play. Schengen on the other side. That's really stopped that push from FUT Esports, and that's keeping him alive, but he needs to keep up. Obviously, he's going to try and work his way around. At some point, he's going to have to swim over towards the team. We'll get back there, but for now, Kitchen have FaZe moving in. There's not enough in the chamber, though, for the ace. There's a few shots. FaZe will move on by. 4 kills for them. They will breach in on the southwest corner now. FaZe will continue driving forward. The high ground is, give or take, in the middle. We should see a play away, but the closer you get to it, the closer you have the chance to be in the late game early on. FaZe as a duo, it's a dangerous position now for them to be on for any team, but it is very, very flat. I have to see how they try and hold out with only 1 car for cover.
It's a good car, though.
Not as good as this one.
Yeah,
I'd
not
rather
as
take
good
the
as
bus.
this one, yeah. That's kind of the thing you wanted to go for. It's an underrated vehicle. Very underrated vehicle. I didn't think it was going to have that big of an impact, I want to say, on this map being played in esports. I thought it was going to be similar to the Bang Bus, but it's quite the opposite. It's super strong vehicle. And I wish honestly, I wish we would have this in all maps. I love it. Not only for the environment's sake, but especially for the playing sake. It gives you more ability to play around with cars. Good trades happening. It is Entropic falling, and that's kind of a big storyline too. And they will not only fight against FUT Esports, it's going to be against Hype as well. Duffy, is he going to be expected? Is he going to be expected right around this corner? I don't think he is currently, so if Entropic makes a move, they potentially have to fight against Duffy and all the rest of the players above them.
Yeah, Hypebeast have not really shown up today, not compared to the qualifiers and day 1 of the playoffs. They've done enough. They've rebuffed their points a bit, but I think they're going to go back and question, especially the first couple of games, and be able to keep the players up. The Duffys will be in a dangerous position now. VP now putting themselves in a dangerous position for FUT Esports and providing some long distance covers. They've got the high ground from the stadium. So obviously it does shift away. We lose the water on the top, means we do lose some of the high grounds, but not all of it. It does mean that we've got Duffy's store and WLA store going to be up at the very, very point of this end Starlers map. FUT Esports though trying to make the breach forward as they now got to push in on low W.
Good shots against AT. Nick C is going to take him down, but anybody's gets a flush. That's troublesome for FUT Esports for multiple reasons, especially since Low W is already creeping up. Babelisk taking down Vard almost immediately after picking the ridge line. Good shots. And that just leaves T-Bone, and he's also getting cleaned out by Gadrox. And Low W with a massive vibe. Not really that relevant once again in the overall leaderboard, but once again, it's going to clear out that edge, and we said there's going to be S4 still on that northern side, having to rotate in somewhere. That's going to be one less team that could potentially face.
Can be difficult now. PP, they were applying pressure all over the map. They're going to continue rotating their way in. There's that zone. Obviously, that high point. That's where WLA are sitting at the top. They have a player on that north side as well. Obviously, sits quite firm. Entropic obviously rotated their way in as well, but they did leave players behind. It's not going to be a matter of time before we get exposed. And then Sheila, instant reaction though. BBL, disruptive. And Hypebeast down in 13th place. As I said, they're qualified. You can't take anything away at the moment. We will see them in the grand finals. But I think they will look back on the second day of the qualification as not where they want to be.
Xan, towards the east. They have no idea about him, but he's being pressured inwards. So, no matter if he's spotted or not, he is essentially going to have to do a 1v4. And I think it's chances of him just not getting spotted and finding a spot, and OW just rotating off are really slim. But I think that's the best you could hope for. As we have WLA still being able to pressure everyone around them. But they do have players on the ground, and Mossboat is one of them. He comes out, trying to clean the rest of the players from VP. First one is being picked up. That is 3 frags being secured. Shots in the back, but he manages to take down Lukarux just in time. In the meanwhile, Fate gets another one as well. WLA could have a massive round with this one. If they all stay alive here, once again, they will be able to pressure everyone around them.
Back to the high grounds. Great shots though from WLA. Arguably, you say in your big games, these guys are in. In a good position now to try and take it. In 6th place, we'll have any more points they can sort of claim from here. Kitchen, they're on the outside edge. They wish they may have been in the high ground themselves, but they've got 4 players up. So maybe let the fighting happen. It'll be edge play. There's a lot of open terrain. There's a few banks and crevices that these teams will try and push into. Hopefully, people will try and use the deployable cover. They might have learned a lesson, though, unfortunately, from Savage, as That was a savage way to go out. WLA, they're in full control now. Full control. The question is how much ammo they have. You tend to find a sort of mid to late game. So when these teams, if they've been up there for some time, they're going to lose it. And with the amount of teams that are at the base of the tower, how can they get off is always the big question.
Somehow he really made it in. Xen is... He keeps on believing in the dream. The dream of grabbing another placement point, I guess. I'm thinking that's the best he can hope for at this point. There's plenty of more teams with a troublesome road towards the western side, so it's not too far-fetched. You can see Entropic now being limited as well. That's direct competition too. And just one more team being needed. Mercy may be going out any second with the way they rotate, but no, I think they do have a pretty good spot down towards the deep southern side as well. So, yeah, just one more team though. One more team needing to go out for them to get another placement point on the board.
Yeah, we are working our way down, but obviously the zone is working. A lot of these teams out at the moment. Mercy, Boggo is going to have to try and get a med on in time. He doesn't get it. He's going to deny to zone. And that might be because he knows who's in front. And giving away a point to a team that's not qualified, they don't really want to be doing that, despite Mercy Gaming levitating themselves all the way from the bottom of the table up into a 9th place. So definitely really changed things. They've definitely played a different game style than we saw on their first day of qualifiers.
Yeah.
WLA, well, 72/2. That says an answer to the question I housed earlier. Still enough time, phase number 5, but they really need to think about what their exit plan is off this high ground.
Na'Vi bridge the compound. Banana right in front of them. Mercy on the street towards the west. And I think as soon as Mercy realizes that this fight is going to happen, they're going to peek down. So Na'Vi needs to be careful of this. Running into the compound. Trying to get an entry now. I think there's no one in the first building, so they're all stacked towards the back of it. Na'Vi, once again, is going to realize that sometime soon. But before they do, it's going to be a lot of utility being thrown out, and that's not going to be beneficial in the fight against Banana. So once again, backside being smoked off so they can have the space to clear the first building. And it's being done now.
Shift away. Well, there's that shift away from the higher ground, but it held on for arguably longer than it normally does.
Definitely.
Na'Vi be happy they've taken this area now. They've taken part of the compound. Yes, I think they will live with the neighbours, and now we're going to see the punishment. And with WLA still up on the high ground, they're going to be able to get the reses. But again, it's the exit plan. Where do they come off? How do they come off? LW, BBL, they're not going to want to move. They're going to try and claim them because the animation getting off here. You've got the emergency parachute, right? You'll be able to deploy that on the way down, but the animation, that roll, that's if they catch it right, they will go down. Bumble's going to also in a really good position. They're going to play that road nicely. I won't be too surprised to see sort of BBL and low W fight. But if BBL come back towards Bumble squad, that'll be a death. I think Bumble squad are going to push BBL into low W and over to the other side.
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. Either way, I don't think any of these teams have a great chance of surviving this one. I think, especially since Bumble squad has found a position out in the circle. Not only them, but also Mercy and Kitchen will all make sure to, after they've taken care of the skirmishes all around them, they all will make sure no one's going to enter through that northern side. And I don't see a single position you could really play there. Like, it's all downhill. There's a couple of trees, but the sightlines are going to be, I think, too weak. Just generally speaking. And there we go.
Oh, that money was good.
Look at how few bullets they have left. That's also a crazy part to consider.
21. He's got a decision whether to keep it on the MK or jump down on the AUG. Actually, the AUG has got 40, so this is the problem. Deletion. Absolute deleting.
No chance.
The moment you move, the animation into the parachute slows you down, and then the animation of you hitting the deck. And do you deny here? Potentially, we'll gain and loss. I suppose at least try and dump all the util down you can, and maybe try and make a bit disruption to get off. But it's for WLA, they've hit the high ground, they've claimed the high ground for some time, and they've reaped the rewards. They've just left it too long before jumping down.
Yeah. This is once again a good round for everyone who's still holding on for dear life inside the top 16. Hokkaido especially, they'll be watching this round, just once again hoping that S4 is not going to get any more shots off, not any more placement points. They will secure, obviously, a couple of them, but it's only going to be S4 on the other side as well. There it goes. Bumble squad now having more space. BBL has been significantly weakened by their last fight. as well as Lil W. Both going to be asking now for a couple of eliminations off of this team.
Bumble Squad was trying to activate. Mercy Gaming tried to backfill. Bumble Squad had to turn down the other way. Now they can come back, but Lil W... Let's see, they now to continue to push their way around. BBL on the back burner. They're down, but in the top 4, LW got 4. Na'Vi with 4, BBL with 1. Bumble Squad with a 3. So Na'Vi claiming the compound, but Na'Vi getting rewarded with all of the zone. This is going to be a quick ending. It's phase 7. Got some numbers up, but the zone is going to force everyone into the arms of Na'Vi. BBL will go, and that's a great nade from Dead Rocks. There's another point on the board.
A really good one at that as well. As Lil W clears out that northern side, they still have a massive task in front of them. And while everything happens, Na'Vi has cleared out the compound. That's the big... That's a really big card, actually. We didn't see it, but that's massive in terms of the overall leaderboard situation. Because with iBanana going down, that's S4 and iBanana both outside any really big rounds, any really big points. And that means Kaido, for the time being, is still very much safely inside that top 16. It's once again 2 more chances for them to make it happen. Na'Vi now in a little bit of trouble, but they will return a couple of shots. JETZT takes down Abelisk. Lil W losing that one as well. It's down to 2.
Yeah, and again, just on your point, Banana haven't put any points on the board, excluding placements. So no kills for them. And Savage have only put 1 point on the board, so well off the pace, well off the markings. Not off the pace though. That's Lil W. They're now pushing their way forward. A little bit in rags. When it comes down to the vests, but they've run out of a bit of util. Now they're going to get off this high ground, but it's going to be all zone pushing. There's 1, there's 2, as Bumble Squad will turn around. They will finish it up. It's a 4 versus 3. As Bumble Squad, well, I don't think they've read the kill feed. Maybe they're expecting Na'Vi might have been rapping on their tippy toes behind them, but not the case. There's a few more nades just to confirm.
Couple of more nades. Na'Vi has got the big option now to clean up the rest of the players. Nakatori starting exactly that. Crossbow goes down in the middle of the street. One more player behind the car. His position is known as well. So, let's be honest, this is Na'Vi's game to lose. Bumble Squad has to pull something miraculously out of their pockets. With the amount of utility they have, I think they're going to be alive for at least a couple of more seconds. But the zone is closing, and none of them are inside right now. Metzi maybe, with a really good peek, might be able to catch someone off guard. Maybe JETZT, but look, he's so close already. And Na'Vi, in general, is just closing down the distance. Fairest even with a deep east side lurk is going to be able to cover JETZT in case he goes down. So, man, these sidelines are just so dangerously good for Na'Vi.
So dangerous. But they played it well. Na'Vi showing what they do best. They control areas. They moved their way in. They took the compound. Then they took out iBanana. Now they're all rotating their way around. There's the MG. It's down to 2. Bumble Squad on the back burner. Make that down to 1. They all spray. It's a full control for Na'Vi now. Final player in the smoke. Hiding away. Maybe a deny. I don't know if there's any reason why not to. Just take the fight.
The bigs all in the smoke. JETZT meanwhile takes down the second to last player, and this is no problem for Na'Vi cleaning up these remaining players. Diffex closes it out. It is 10 frags for Na'Vi. We've been waiting for another round win from them for quite some time. They did get one on the very first day they played, and they've shown us consistency up until this point. But that was really... I want to say the last fight wasn't necessarily the one fight that we have to give them credit for. It was the fight in the compound against iBanana. 4-on-4, and that was the game-winning fight as well. After this one, they had so much space. And yeah, Na'Vi's not a team you want to fight in an isolated 4-on-4.
No. And if you got the map stream, you'd watch them as they sort of work their way through methodically. They take parts of the zone off, and eventually they find themselves where they want to be. They've been spread it out. And when Na'Vi collapse close, very, very dangerous. But talk about collapsing close. Well, that's Doritos from the sky. I think for the first time, we've got to see someone flattened in the playoff stages at least. Maybe it will give us a blessing again in the finals. You've got to love it, and you've got to be feeling, unfortunately. So due to the graphic nature of the player getting flattened, we won't be playing a replay for that. But what we will be doing is we will be having our final 2 rounds going up shortly. They are going to a wrangle. And, well, if the last 2 days were anything to offer, it has been a showing from the Batallings climbing up the power pylon and going. Let's go for a quick break. I said round number 5 is coming up. We'll see you guys in a second. Welcome back in. Well, we've seen the solos from Rondo, we've seen players get flattened, we've seen the dusty dunes of Miramar, and the time to Tego has been done for the playoffs. There's only 2 rounds remain, and it's time for a wrangle. FedEx, can iBanana, can Savage make a last attempt to try and knock out these teams at the cutoff point?
That's the big question. They need big games now, and the remaining 2 chances that they have, the overall leaderboard situation is going to give us a better view. I think FaZe Clan now with this game has passed Ascend as well, so that means Ascend and Hokkaido, as of right now, do stand where we expected them to stand after the first couple of games, right? With all the teams below them passing them. So 53 points and 50 points is the cutoff. There we have it. 53 points for FaZe Clan. Well, okay. Technically 53 points on Ascend as well. So FaZe Clan having 2 more rounds. They're surely going to pick up another point. So that means 53 and 50 points. Now, there goes the interesting part. Once again, Savage, 38. It's only 12 points to Hokkaido. And Banana, well, a little bit more than 20 realistically, depending on how well Savage is going to play. So the opportunity is there. I'm not rooting them out. Maybe get a couple of good zones. Savage hasn't really been blessed with a zone. They haven't really gone for it either. But if it happens, man, once again, I'm not rooting them out. We've seen it with Ascent how fast things can change. And Savage has given us reason to believe as well. Good solo action in their last game, for example. Salvaging the most amount of points you can, despite that early hiccup, I want to say, in the last game. So once again, 12 points is nothing. I think they can do it.
As much as like the inner analyst of me goes, no way. A Savage potentially, because they've had good showings. They put a good 1 of 2 good wrangles on regarding points. But yeah, I've been scarred by Ascend. I've got that Ascend final game in the back of my head still. So we do have to say goodbye to Smokewall, as they've already done their 12 games, so there'll be another team that will send on by, and this will be the last stop for them. Unfortunately, they won't be going towards the grand finals. I think, yeah, the story will unfold. Savage, are they going to be able to get above the line? I just kind of feel that 31 points for Banana is just too much to ask. But then game 5, game 6, they have been really, really hectic as well. So, team still chasing up for Twisted Minds as well. We are still trying to push as many points as we can onto the top. And again, it's worth mentioning and worth noting for everyone about next week, because the Smash rule, Alex, is a bit different than what these guys are seeing in historic events, especially even for the first half of this year.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. It's going to be a whole lot of PUBG action potentially on that 3rd day, because we don't know how long it takes to figure out a winner. So once again, if you haven't gotten the information about this rule set in the finals that's going to be played and tested around here, it is going to be the first team to 100 points. As soon as that happens, if you get a chicken dinner after reaching 100 points, and it can't be in the same round, you win the tournament. So it's going to be all about watching all these teams trying to scramble as many points as they can and then get the chicken dinner. And I think that's going to be super interesting. You'll always have a couple of teams to focus on as soon as they reach the 100 points in each and every single one of these games. It's going to create a new dynamic, and I said there's going to be another dimension being added to PUBG esports. In terms of decision-making in game. Sorry.
Thanks to production. Here's the point so far for Savage, but look at the average points, 3.8. That is not enough. So it comes back to, as you said before, they need a huge game. They need a massive game, arguably even 2 now, to make sure they get above that 53 point or the 50 point mark, should I say, to take out Hokkaido. And again, just to remind you guys, with the Smash rule, obviously we'll be back here with Friday. We are going to crown our top 16 teams after these next 2 games, and they will be kicking things off. We've got 6 games on Friday, then we start on Saturday, but it's the first team to 100 points. When we hit 100 points, that's it. Pause, done, dusted. Saturday, finish. We have to reset, and we will come back and as the production team on Sunday, and then it's the first time the 100-point team gets a chicken dinner. So we might have one team with 100 points, and but they might not be able to claim themselves to chicken dinner. And on the Sunday, it means another team could catch up to 100 points and then bag a chicken dinner after that game as well. But remember, normal when you're going to go read online, there's 70 points. It's 100 points we're looking for this event. Rest of the rules that don't do apply. Game number 5 is underway. It's press a bit as it's going to be from a southwest up towards the north central. It's going to be a wrangle.
Relatively fair for everyone, ladies and gentlemen. It is the second to last game of the group stages of the playoffs here at the Rotation Summer Edition. And as you said, one of the last 2 chances now for Savage to make it in, and potentially even iBanana to pull up and make something make something happen. It's going to be unlikely. We said it's going to be unlikely, but it's not impossible. As Sent has done it before. They've shown us, and I think they're, interesting enough, ironically, they're the team giving Savage and Banana the biggest kind of hope, because they've shown them, never cut yourself out. There's always an opportunity to do so. And we were talking about Banana. They're running straight into a potential hot job. They have to be careful. There's good shots coming out from Flex, but I think play on the other side, it's too small to realize the name. There we have it. He's made it out alive. Just barely, though. Just barely. But Banana, this would have been disastrous, is alive in phase 1 with all 4 players.
There's a team that always likes to get involved in a fight at the beginning, and that's it. Here we go, Shotgun versus an... Oh no, sorry, so it's a Bolty versus an SK. I thought it was a Shotgun. It's not. CCI, he's popping a few shots. I don't think it would take long to figure out that's a Bolty, and he might try and make a bit more of a closer push, but no, that Bison, that's going to end 1. That's a gun you want in hands, and a quick kill confirm. And then again, multiple fights, multiple hot drops, and this is not even the last one.
Definitely not the last one. We have a second hot job coming in. WLA against Bumble squad. Good trades back and forth. Despite hitting the headshot, it's not going to be enough to take down anybody's. So maybe Matty is going to be able to do it with a nade in hand. Ooh, he replays that despite having the nade in hand. Somehow, anybody's doesn't expect it, and he's going to be able to get the flag too. Somehow bounced out of the building, I think, and hit him in front. How the hell did that happen? Matty, the tiny bit of flag there on this knock. But it's far from over. Just that one knock on both of the sides.
Madsy with the magical nades. Here's the third drop. A third hot drop. Now I'm going to try and make the push. Now Hobart, he's moving forward, keeping the pressure. Moss will be trying to apply the res. There's one. They're able to now to go back. They reposition. WLA are in a qualification spot here. Bumbles are the same as well. So this is kind of fighting now for place, for area. These will be quick games, especially there are a number of teams that are already qualified. I think a lot of teams are looking to try and use the testing ground to see if they can get to 100 points. So expect hungry teams. It's not that they've just qualified, guys. Now they will be testing. They will be testing to see how quickly can they get to 100 points.
Yeah, that's the big thing in the finals. That's how you determine the winner in the end. Flash comes out. Metzi gets caught off guard though. Couldn't get that flashed off in time, which, to be fair, would have been his only real hope in terms of making something happen. It's multiple enemies running up the staircase. People, and especially esports players, have learned to walk around that really strong position up the top of the stairs, and Rosberg has also been spotted out. No problem, WLA will eliminate them. WLA also one of the, I want to say, at least, yeah, no, I think it's fair to say, one of the upsets coming out of the qualifiers in terms of their performance right now in the playoffs. And there's the second team that has really surprised us. Well, W, they want to clean out Entropic, 22 points. It seems like there's absolutely no chance if they don't make something happen in this game. That just mathematically, it's going to be super unlikely, even with a win, for them to still qualify. And you can see Inter being eliminated now as well. Plenty of teams dying in the early stages of this one.
It's the end of Entropic. It's the end for their opportunities to go through. Wow. And if you hadn't had a line underneath them or above them, sorry, already like me, I think you now need to secure that spot with 22 points. Even with one game, as Felix says, it's just too much to ask. There's a lot of questions that will come out from this, I think, from Entropic. And for me, it's those gun skills. The team, the individuals, they have it, but for somehow they are not piecing it together under pressure when the fight matters.
Nope. I think, as you said, under pressure, I mean, that's what you need to perform. And there's been a couple of teams that have really pressured in particular. And I want to say Savage has also been one of them. And where they do need that big round, and it's been a couple of times now that they've been in the situation to do so as well. It's where they have crumbled. That one specific fight, phase 2, phase 3, time and time again, is where they've, at the very least, lost 1 or 2 players. And then, let's be honest, your chances are really slim of still getting the desired average points to qualify for a final if that happens. Then goes for Kitchen. First rotate comes on through. Barely dodging Duffy there in the city, who somehow snuck his way inside the north side of Georgiapol. But nothing crazy happened. He just couldn't catch anyone off guard. I think potentially tried to take out the last play in the rotation. It's usually what you do. Let the first ones pass, prepare for the last one. Because he's going to be the one that you can immediately flush, and all the other ones would have to turn around for you. in order to actually punish you for it.
Well, there's no punishment when you can't see him above you. I think he's playing a farm the information game. He is playing God in the skies, now looking down onto the whole of the terrain. He's going to be able to guide this team in to a location zone. So we've got a little look at it. It is down in that sort of west-hand side. We've got Llama Hill, Chopsticks, Gatka. And let's see, we do see now BB team looking onto the bottom of Chopsticks here where Low W are situated. Lots of positions, lots of opportunity. We've lost a couple of teams, which means there's more space. Did Doozy just spot him? I think he might have just missed him, or maybe even second-guessed it. Is that a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's ain't. He's flying his way down.
He was up there to spot for his teammates. He's trying to get us additional information on what he could rotate to. It's a common practice right now in phase 1 and phase 2. If you have an emergency to pick up, but you don't necessarily needed to rotate it inwards. T-bone, that's a very unusual side. I think he was just waiting for Magor to peek on through as well, and was more of a distraction there, so to speak, but still would have expected him to pick up that one. Doesn't matter. Not punished for it. Doozy goes down, and BB team has to play up of this as a 3-man.
Well, 3-man still strong. And Banana, they've lost another one. They'll be cautious. FaZe, they're going to try and extend their way out. I think FaZe are trying different things at the moment, trying to figure out what works. And I'm not going to take anything away from them. They've been looking so aggressive lately, so aggressive. It looks so good to watch. When FaZe get geared and they're running forward at teams, it is scary how quickly they can deny and annihilate teams out these lobbies. For now, they're going to try and control. They're going to try and hold some angles, try and gain the information. Ibanana down 1, but got 3 remains. AWM in the back pocket as well. That should hit a bit of a bang. See if they can deal with the damage. 18, well, he's down, and now he's rotating his way a little bit forward. Won't be too surprised for a bit of a 2-2 split from the team.
Really unfortunate day so far, though, for FaZe Clan. Starting off today, I think with 41 points. We said it's not going to take long for them to pass Ascend and everyone above them. But, yeah, it kind of did. I mean, 3 to 4 games to pass someone who's like not even 10, 15 points above you. That's very unusual for FaZe Clan. So I think they've struggled. Na'Vi, coming off of that last win. Not as successful, at least in phase 1. Diffix being shot out, and WLA off of that hard job that they won 4-0 cleanly, getting 7 frags in phase 1. They are starting to look crazy, to be honest. Because if you wipe Na'Vi as well in phase 1, not only Bumble squad, but Na'Vi in phase 1, can you do that cleanly? That should fear everyone else, to be honest.
It is good. But you've mentioned it before in another game. It's the looking now at the teams already qualified phase. Obviously, a couple of points on the board. Now, as we said on that pre-show for this game, was Ascend and Kido now sit on that edge. 50 points is our cutoff now. Smokeball's already done their game, so they won't be making any sudden comebacks. But it is that S4, is that Banana that you will be looking for. Can Savage, can Banana potentially dig deep in this game? Or these final 2 games. Talk about digging deep. What's Ferris? He's got nade in hand. If he gets these guys lined up, arguably he might be able to put a few away.
Now the nades have to be absolutely perfect, though. That was a perfect nade. Not quite enough to take anyone down. And this is a cheeky position, so I really like this. Maybe if he would have gotten another knock with that nade, it would have been a good chance to do something happen. But you can tell that they're doing the train. Ferris has to escape to the other side. There's another player there. This is perfectly played by WLA. Look how smart this was. They kind of tried to flush him out on the left side, so he had to peek towards Fate. And even though Fate wasn't necessarily ready for him to be on top of the building, he still made it work just because that play was strategically perfect. Really well played, and they will secure a second team wipe before phase 2 has even started. WLA is on fire, ladies and gentlemen.
On fire, and they got free movement now on the east. VP will reposition on South Pachinki Hill, facing towards this east side, so they might try and catch him, but they don't need to rush their way in. We are going down to the snowmobile field. Banana, we need the big team looking for the big points. They're getting tabbed back. Frost going to have to put a med back on. Enough meds in the back pocket. Arguably, the vest is not fully tanked, but interestingly for me, Banana are playing really, really split, and with it, even this zone, I know it's phase 2. You need points, and are you going to gain them being this wide? I think they need to tighten up and start pushing on isolating individual teams and players.
Nice rotation coming on through. BBL through the northern side. Opting to go for a little bit more of the western part of the circle. Should still not be inside phase 2, not anywhere close, but might have just picked a relatively clean entry point. This is kind of crazy. Let me talk about this really quick. 12 teams, phase 2. Yes, it's one of the last games, and yes, we have so many teams already qualified. But we were talking about how I think plenty of these teams want to use the last couple of games we've already qualified to test out the waters and how fast you could potentially reach 100 points, because that's never really been done before. And yes, you could tell, well, it's kind of obvious, just get as many points as you can, but there's another dimension, which is, keeping out everyone else who's above you. So Lil W, in theory, the later they catch the 100 points mark, the later they will also be able to get a chicken dinner and then actually win the tournament. So that would be something that in the finals is going to be relevant. If you see Lil W, they're close to 100 points, make sure to put extra heavy focus on them.
And let's just bring it into context as well, because we've got a bit of time. Twisted Minds are above 100 points. You can see that on the left-hand side. But they haven't bagged the chicken dinner yet. So technically, they still haven't won the tournament. Anyway, back to this. There's a crash coming in. PWD launching out a nade. Now, as he's going to have to pop a couple of shots, WLA, well, they've picked their compound. Does get him on the last bullet, and that could be huge. He's going to get a nade to try and stop the push and maybe get a bit of control. But Mercy Gaming getting a blessing with the last couple of shots.
I really like what he's doing right now. Getting to the window, make sure everyone's going to hear that sound cue as well. Play around the corner of it. PWD, second frag. And Mossboard goes down. That's another one, I think, in the meanwhile being picked apart from distance. As Hoba loses his life too. It's just one player, and it's Fate, and he's spotted out. Only on about 80 HP. Nate comes in. It's a quick trade. 47 damage now from Bugger. And once again, his position has been spotted. I think that's it for WLA. They've done amazing stuff in phase 2. They've gathered more points than I think some of these teams down low, like is4, could ever dream of. But it's still an early finish. Mercy cleans it up. 4 more points. Mercy continuously showing us what they deserve to be in the finals.
Yeah, PWD, like how he breaks stuff down, the kid's insane. Like, he knows where to put the cards. He knows where to pick. He got a bit of love, got a bit of blessing from those last couple of shots to get the player, but that didn't set the series of motions of where he was looking for the angles, looking for the creativity to try and find the rest of the team. Mercy Game will now try and hold there in a good compound, especially if it does play back towards the snowmobile fielders. I would expect it now to sort of launch back that way. Let's see how far it goes. It does. And she does hold on the trench at the bottom as well. So Mercy potentially could just hold here. They could maybe move out. Luke Ruxo on the E pick up as well. So he'll be scouting for information ahead. Wouldn't be too surprised actually for VP maybe to try and take the south if Luke Ruxon spots that is free.
VP, they like to play for these spots in the open field if they do realize the circle heavily favors an ending there. We've seen very often actually. And it's been working out great for them. I mean, I've said it before. To me, VP is the team out of everyone of the top international teams right now that rotates as cleanly as possible and rotates the best as well. Now, it doesn't necessarily correlate with how well you play your game, because obviously there's all sorts of different strategies. But when it comes to staying alive as 4, when it comes to keeping everyone alive until phase 3, phase 4, and getting a good position, I don't think there's anyone more consistent than VP right now in the EMEA scene. That might be a controversial take, but I'll put it out there anyways. FaZe Clan against Hype Beast. And the first knock has already happened. FaZe Clan now on the defense.
Yep. They're going to dig themselves out here. Fex will position himself. We know he can be very powerful from behind. You can see him. He's going to try and anchor at the back here. Gustav's got some high elevation when he's on top of the building. Great nades coming in from Jeems. They are wrapping their way around. Hype Beast down for 1. DBO no. Dust now goes to try and take the angle. When nades are coming in, he gets some damage dealt to him. And unfortunately, Noah gets caught with the molly. So it'll be the second. Oh, he gets them off just in time. So once DBO no should be ready to be back to a 4 versus 4.
Corexy with the nade in hand, pops around the left-hand side, could be huge. Corexy takes down Doffy once more. And they know it is back to a 3-player team.
Oh,
Corexy, another nade as well, but he walks right into the trap up Duff. And Fex has to now get the trade going. He knows he's in the corner. Quick peek around. Fex doesn't lose these. And he doesn't in this instant either. As he gets the flash with a headshot on top. And look at this, Gustav gets the last one. They lose Corexy. But he's had massive impact and even securing the first 2 knocks, so I think no worries there. 7 frags already being secured for them as well. We realize once more, it is towards the later stages of the tournament. 10 teams alive only in Phase 3. It is as aggressive as it gets.
Welcome to Game 6 antics. But it's not Game 6, it's Game 17 of 18 or Game 5 of the evening. BBL when they're looking for the kills. But I generally think this is people trying to figure out how many points they can get. They're looking to get to 100, but remember, you can't get the 100 in the chicken dinner. So, like, the one for me now to watch is LUOW, right? So let's see if they can bag themselves 100 points, and if they bag themselves 100 points in the chicken dinner, it goes down to the last game. Well, we know Twisted Minds, they're not playing, so we can't say, well, they haven't got themselves a chicken dinner today. But technically, if they were playing, we would still be looking for them to get themselves a chicken dinner because they were unable to do so on the last stages. BBL. They're going to move on in. They've got a little bit of freedom of movement. Zone will shift down. And obviously, it does go all the way down towards the south side. And Mercy Game in a really good spot. VP could be very damaging for these teams trying to wrap in on the north. And Lama Hill, that left-hand side, that west section of your pitch up. Well, they're going to have to move on. I wouldn't be too surprised to see Footy Sports maybe wrap all the way around phase and in towards that southern position and take the trenches. I really like that area on this map. I love playing from there on these end zones.
Oh, Lyron, has he just been spotted? No, he hasn't. Nate comes in. Ooh, that almost wouldn't have been a knock that was going to be secured, and they really needed that one. Kitchen is being pressured back. They had no idea BBL was coming. And also the equalized situation. Whoa! Smash! Just smashes down Squeaky behind the ridgeline. Can he get a second one? That was one hell of a Kobe. I know the Olympics are going on and Team USA is farming, but that was even more beautiful than any of the threes I've seen in that one. And smash, there goes another one. Tuhu goes down to... My lord, are these guys just farming down Kitchen? They have just been in a perfect spot a second ago. 4 players alive. Until BBL came and just put down everyone. My goodness.
There's a bigger push now. Kitchen have to try and defend off. This is more for pride. Mini Bear will picks up Lyron. Smash on the hand. Comes off the angle. But now got to make the push. Mini Bear be there. Will we go down? That's a great push. Great timing. Another knock though comes in from Kitchen. 9th place for them. It's just a little bit too late. They played so well in qualifiers, but were just unable to deliver on the playoff stage, but they are going out with a bang at the moment. Smash should go back to a 3-6 kills on the board, but phase 4 is moving on in.
8 teams alive. We're already in placement points. Can you imagine that we're already in placement points by phase 4? Fex goes down. Foot Esports wants to make use of phase continuously having to fight everyone in this compound.
Yeah.
And they will do so. Have secured good angles on the remaining players. The last 2 phase players have rotated out. They know this. That's why they breached here as well, and why they took over the space that FaZe Clan has left for them to gain. But unfortunately, we've seen it just there. They will lose a player who was stationed here in the process. So FaZe Clan down to 2. Foot Esports on a few teams. Alive with 4 players. Little W on the other side. Trying to breach the 100 points mark with this one. Just 2 more points being needed. And 1 is already there through the placements.
There is now on the placement section. This would be really interesting. I think they're going to go above 100 on this, right? I'd be shocked if they don't. Maybe VP did want to deny as best they can. BBL wrapping their way around. But you got to remember, if they do go above 100 points, it'd be really interesting to see. Technically, if they bagged themselves a chicken dinner on the last game, that means they would have won the tournament if we was at the finals. But we're not on the playoff stage at the moment. LW looking to try and get those kills. BBL do wrap their way around. Looks like FaZe moved themselves into the field, which allowed Footy Sports to sort of backfield them in that compound here. Mercy Gaming, well, they're still causing issues for teams. They're the only team really in that south to southeast corner zone. Should shift back down their way. We'll go there. James will go and take out Savage. They need a big games. And again, the argument is they are not on the trigger at the moment.
No, it's just not happening. Savage going out as well. 38 points. And Hokkaido could not be happy about this one. Banana and Savage both outside the top 8 or barely inside. Doesn't really make a difference, though, if you need 10 or more points. It's not out yet, but it's going to come down to the last game. And the less points they do in this one, the more points they need in the following one. Meaning it's getting all the more unlikely. And you've said the cutoff point has been reached already and the line has been drawn. It does look like that is coming true now. Mercy opening up against BBL.
Yep, these are, I suppose, there's only real one team, which is potentially, but 38 points, like, you're just not going to get there. You would need to clear the lobby. Maybe Game 6 antics. So this, for me, is teams trying to get to 100 points. Mercy Gaming, well, they're a team that was definitely starting down the low part of the table. And I said, coming in on the pre-show, we was having that conversation about them, weren't we? And it was, we need to try something different. Day number one really didn't work out for us. Well, talk about trying something completely different. They came out of a win. They're finding themselves in the placement points.
What?
And saying Nixie deleting and actually denying as our W team trying everything they can just to get to 100 points.
W has just been destroyed by Nixie. I don't think you realize how unbelievable these shots must have been. He was behind the smoke. They were to be expected that they were going to play this rich line, but so was Nixie, I think, on his position. So, yeah, somehow Nixie taking down 2 players and both getting flushed immediately after by, I think, VP and Mercy Gaming. I think it was a 1-1 in terms of points being splitted between these 2 teams. But yeah, VP, tough that they opted to go for the open field, and unfortunately in this instance it didn't quite work out. But the good part is VP, yes, have been, I think, eliminated with this one, but I think they've secured a couple of more placement points and 3 kills. So 92 points, they will stand.
Yep.
Despite those struggles they've had continuously at the very top of the leaderboard.
And it will be. Such a shite. Mercy Gaming, 9 kills for them. Not looking strong. No one's really pushed his position, apart from WLA. And we saw the amazing work from PWD just to break apart that. Footy Sports did eventually move round to the south, and they are going to that sort of a trench line. It's really, really good, really strong area. Mercy Gaming need to make a decision on what they do next. They get caught staying here. It will be the end of them. Looks like they are playing out. That's the right play. They go out towards the south now, so they're counteracting that move we saw from Foot Esports. And BB team using the little dugouts. I have seen some outstanding plays. People forget about them, completely forget about them, FedEx. And I've seen teams roll over. And again, I've got my memories of like Pixel setting up huge amounts of traps with U2 on the outside and all sorts. So there's teams that can be very creative with those positions, even down numbers. Yeah,
Pixelic putting like gas cans outside of it and trying to bait people into breaching his shack and his bunker entrance. Quite creative. I've seen it in Asia being played like this a couple of times as well. So players are adapting, I guess you could say. Foot Esports,
love it.
One of the big contenders in this one, together with Mercy, in terms of picking it up. Be reminded, everyone in the top 16 is going to qualify, so we only have qualified teams start surviving in this one. We also said they're all going to be training to get that 100 points mark, and with a really, really big round, Mercy could have done it in this one as well. The placement points are not calculated into the left side, so they will get an additional 10, obviously, if they qualify, so they would need a couple of more frags now in this round to really breach that 100 points mark. Unlikely, but possible, with, 10 more players remaining outside of them.
W really having the same day. They had day number 1. They outperformed on their first day compared to Twisted Mind's first day, but the consistency for Twisted Minds and with W really not showing up on those early games, they've not been able to put the points to bed. It'd be interesting to see how they reset, but a team definitely to be watching for me. And they've done it differently to Twisted Mind. We said again in pre-show, they've done it based upon like the kills and the placement sides are very split between Twisted Minds and W. Foot Esports obviously wrapping around to the south side. They didn't have the intel. Nice use of Blue Zone nade just to try and push someone out of this shack as they are watching for any kind of movement. I think that'll be a tick. They know no one's there and how they're repositioned. This is a good area. We are going to go down to the fields, but Foot Esports have got the high ground. That might be an advantage, but it could also be a very punishing disadvantage at the moment.
Yeah, could turn out to be that way. It's a really slow phase 6 now due to the fact that everyone was fighting his own beforehand, and there's just so much open space. So everyone kind of got cleaned up. 1, maybe 2 phases earlier, actually.
Yeah.
So no one's really in dire need to fight anything. You can see Foot Esports also taking things super slow, making sure there's no one all around them. Even to some degree wasting a Blue Zone, and it's not really a waste, but throwing it out there without any active competition is just to make it extra clear no one's really close by and setting themselves up for as much space as possible for the upcoming 2 phases.
It's just that information gathering, isn't it? They're using U2 to gain information. That's what they're doing at the moment. Now, if they can land a Blue Zone nade there, now that's going to be interesting. PP team might have to try to med out if they stack the Blue Zone nades, and that might be an ending. But for FaZe, unfortunately, Foot Esports holding one side, and we'll be looking over them. And then for the other side, Mercy Gaming holding the back. So These teams are going to try and hold the angles. This is what you like to see. But at the moment, the angles are being blessed back to FaZe. The zone goes back their way. I think they're just about out. I can't see him in at the moment. I think they're just about out. But it does mean the other teams now need to move. BB team, no need to move from them. FaZe maybe have to shimmy themselves forward. There was no cover though, Alex. This is going to be a little bit of explosion. I know you said it slowed down, but this is going to be very explosive for a FaZe number 7.
Yeah, definitely. But I'm glad it shifted this way, because that gives the other two teams that would normally be at a big disadvantage out in the open the opportunity now to still have impact in this round. Both of these 4-man teams now need to move out into, well, let's put it like it is, into very disadvantageous spots for esports, or trying to smoke their way. And this is a good pickup now by James, also making it happen, supporting BB team. But I don't think it's going to be enough. I think T1 is going to be revived, at least for now. But it's continuously more shots raining on in. And the further this goes on, the tougher it's going to be for FUT Esports to go downwards, because they've already used, I think, 4 or 5 smokes. Yeah.
They've lost so much U2, not just the smokes, because they didn't have the information. They've played down to here. Now they've got to come out. FaZe now bullying FUT Esports. Now we'll know with BB team. I wouldn't be too surprised for them to go for a straight crash there. The smokes have come out from BB team. They're looking to try and get one. PWD claims for one. There comes the crash down. The nades will go out. There's a nades going down. But Mercy Gamer will be happy. A huge nade comes from Phil. He bags 2. But the nades will come back. BB team will eventually fall out. Mercy will be punishing everybody. And FUT Esports down to a solo. He'll be unable to get those reses. It was a 4 versus technically 2, technically 3, but there's a huge amount of DBNO.
Yeah, no chance for anyone but Mercy Gaming. Everyone was fighting on that western side, FaZe Clan included, and that meant Gustav, in the process of all this fighting, went out too. James not even denying he goes down, and Mercy Gaming with the second chicken dinner. That was one of the teams. This is a crazy storyline to unpack. This is one of the teams we weren't sure was going to qualify for the finals. 2 dinners now in the late stages of this day. I'm saying late stages, but they had one in the very early stages as well. Then I think a third place to back that off. And now another chicken dinner. This is one hell of a turnaround. I think this is the biggest turnaround of the tournament so far.
Definitely a turnaround from the bottom side of the leaderboard. But it's good to know that LULW, with the placement points and the kills they had, they did breach 100 points, I believe. And we'll check that when we come back. But it does make it interesting that we can see if they can try and back themselves to win a chicken dinner, because if it is next week and we are in the same position, that means they could be going home with the lion's share of the prize pool, and more importantly, that golden ticket, that PEC full group stages. So you got to be trying to get not just the money for this event, the regional event, but the key thing for me is getting that golden ticket to make sure you get past all the qualifiers and get straight into technically the group stages. The game number 5 under our belt, Mercy Gaming with a second winner chicken dinner, as they are putting out all of the stops though here for the rotation summer edition, the playoffs day number 3. But it's sad. We've only got one more game left. It's going to be another Erangel. If it was anything like that Erangel, we know it's going to be hyper aggressive. Don't go too far, guys. Game number 6 is coming straight after the break.
A new vehicle collaboration with a world-renowned automaker. The return of some tactical items. And a trip back to the Dragon's Isle. All this and more as we dive into the Update 30.2 patch report. First up, special Automobili Lamborghini vehicle skins and items are coming to the Battlegrounds. For a limited time, you can pick up 3 cool new vehicle skins and a variety of other Automobili Lamborghini themed items. These special skins have some exclusive new features, so be sure to check out the full details of what they do and how to get them in the collaboration announcement. Next up, some of the old tactical items are making their way back to the Battlegrounds as updated tools. The Tactical Pack, EMT gear, and all-in-one repair kit can now be found once again, and will take up a primary or secondary slot when looted. These are the only pieces from the old system we plan on putting back in, so let us know how this new approach feels. Finally, a fan-favorite game mode is making its legendary return. Wait, I can do this.
Unleash magic and mayhem when you return to the Dragon's Isle with Fantasy Battle Royale. Choose your unique fantasy class. Collect crystals to upgrade your skills and be the last party standing. Deliver vicious melee attacks as the mighty barbarian. Take down your foes from afar as the eagle-eyed ranger. Set the world ablaze as the powerful wizard, or smite your foes and heal your friends as the righteous paladin. The noble steed and dragon wagon remain to aid your travels. And while they're slower than traditional vehicles, they will still show you the meaning of haste.
Fantasy Battle Royale is coming to the arcade from July 24th to August 7th on PC, and July 31st to August 14th on console. This update also features some quality of life and performance improvements, map bug fixes, and more. So check out the patch notes for full details. Update 30.2 is here. So pack your updated tools, enter the Automobili Lamborghini vehicles, and take a road trip back to the Dragon's Isle.
We'll see you on the battlegrounds.
It's time. It's the final game. It's the final opportunity. And I definitely feel like for Savage, if they want to try and qualify, I think it's just too much. I don't think they're going to be able to get the points that are required to get to that 50 cutoff. They were trying, but it's not delivering at the moment, FedEx.
I think Savage and iBanana would now need to come up with the second and first place for both of these teams to drop out. So I'm talking about Santo and Kaido. Is that really realistic of happening? As you said, no, not really. I think if anyone can do it, it is Savage. They are a couple of points above iBanana at the as of right now. And I mean, once again, who knows? Maybe if everyone goes as aggressive in the early game as what we've just witnessed, maybe there's going to be open spaces for a team like Savage. But keeping out of all these disorganized fights and also isolated fights that teams are now happy to take now in the later stages that you're already qualified, I think it's going to be the real challenge for Savage. Don't get caught up in any of these fights that don't really matter to you. Take the fights where you have the advantage on, but if you get pressured into it, it might just be over sooner than what you would expect. So yeah, 39 points. Is it possible? Definitely. It's only 11 points. That's what? Second place with a couple of frags? But actually doing it is a whole different story.
Doing it is going to be the interest. Now, Felix, I'm going to ask you for a favour, mate. We are going to imagine that LULW, VP, and Mercy Gaming are on 100 points, right? Because I generally think these guys are going to play this last game as if they were on 100 points. So they think, and like we saw from Twisted Minds when I spoke to Batalians yesterday, they were looking for their second day to see if they could get that chicken dinner and, more importantly, get the 100 points. So it means it's the last game. It's the last opportunity that we might see these teams clash before the finals next week. But it is going to be time, and I want to see if one of these three teams might bag themselves that winner chicken dinner. But here we go. Group stages A versus C for the Rotation Summer Edition. The final game. Let's go. It's a north, down towards the south. Not too bad. Does favour the east. But let's see if one of those three teams can bag a winner chicken dinner.
That's the big question, and obviously we still have to take a look at Savage and iBanana. The two teams currently outside the qualification spots. Everyone else down there has already been overtaken, all the squads playing today, and they've got no chances left. They just had to sit back and watch everyone overtake you today. Sant and Akaido, once again, do have obviously currently are in the qualification spots, but still have to watch this game to make sure they are safely playing next week. Friday, Saturday, Sunday are going to be the game days, and depending on how strong some of these top teams play and how fast anyone reaches the 100 points mark, it might just happen on the second day already, as the rule set has changed. Let's take a look at this hot shot, though. It is BBL against Int once more, and yeah, Int just, they just... Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this. They just cannot seem to find a phase one where everyone is alive. And maybe in this one, but by the looks of the last round, that's not going to happen either.
No, it was 5 out of 6 games on their first day of playoffs was, one person down. They did get into qualifiers, they get to the area, so it was pretty good. And oh my God, just to let you guys know, and you can see it on the bottom right-hand side, is a military. It means Mercy Gaming, if they were, let's imagine, on 100 points. They will be happy with this one because the zone, we're going to military. So we always had a mad game number 5. This is going to be even madder. WLA get the first knocked out on Bumble squad. As the, well, it's looking pretty strong. Let's see if we can deal the damage when it comes to that Uzi push.
He's got the UMP. Not to be underestimated. I think one of the strongest weapons close up. Oh, crossbow. 77 damage on him.
He's got no meds.
That is horrible. He's got no meds,
yes.
There's nothing he can do to heal back up. Anybody's might have just scored a second frag. Just one bullet with the UMP being needed, and I think he realized that something happened up there. Oh, the first aid is downstairs, and the second first aid as well. Oh, he almost does it! Crosscove, that is madness. He takes him down to 12 HP, but anybody gets the last tag. If he would not have gotten that own nade done to himself, he would have gotten that frag, surely.
Oh, it's so close. He put him down to a one-shot. Well, BBL get the first. As it on the battle for Rozak here. We're trying to look forward, though. These guys are in ranks. There's level 1 best. They're on the M16. Got the sidearms there, but they are going to try and make the push. They know where their team is isolated. There is a amount of time before we just get moving on in, and I think we will see the bridges get camped. I think with this format as well, and I might be wrong, but we have to see this next week. We're going to see a lot more aggression against teams. And especially we've got a military zone. If you need points to get to 100, I think we won't see as much as a controlled style of PUBG as we have seen in the past.
Yeah. Very
I could be wrong.
Realistic output. No, definitely. I think what we've seen so far, that is definitely a theory that could come true. BBL still looking for that next opening. Int has lost that first play already. That position's unknown, so it shouldn't be too big of a problem now to clean that one by one. Problem only really is getting to Brazia, because he's upstairs and just watching down, scouting everything, and unless he really gets punished for the position he's in, no one can really push out of these buildings. But there goes another knock, and now he's pressuring for the best lines as well, and now Brazia isn't really able to look into the city as much. And there goes the one team that we said could still have a chance if they win this game, but they need this win. There's not even a second place that is going to be enough. It's the win, and they once again will lose a player early as well. VP making quick work out of iBanana.
I can't even say you're giving him the love, you're giving him the opportunity, but you did that for Ascend and somehow you willed him in. I've been on 31 points. They need to get to 50. That's huge. That's so huge, Felix. But I can't deny you willed Ascend in on the last game. And again, massive shout out to It's Chris. Like, he really, really held the team. I don't want to say held the team together because that's the wrong terminology, but he really put a shift in. He put some big points on.
Oh, good shots actually from Kitchen. They unfortunately are out of the running already. They just haven't accumulated enough points during these 11 games that they've played. Not even close. I think it's historically one of the worst performances we've seen. But I mean, I've talked about this lineup. It's crazy that they're here already. They have definitely not prepared as much as everyone else. It's more for fun for them, and it's success in and of itself that they qualified up until this point. And obviously, performance like this can happen once in a while. We have some of the best international teams in this lobby. It's not an easy feat to compete against them, as they are a qualified team. But once again, just haven't played as much recently.
Well, there's one answer to the question. I've been on that, unfortunately, down and out. 31 points they will end. That means they will end on 20. And with Kitchen making a push towards Savage. They are 1 down. One's DBNO. But Kitchen could be destroying the dreams of Savage to try and get themselves a good game and into the final. There goes the smoke. The rotation will come in. Kitchen really pushing away. This is the Kitchen we saw in qualifiers. And you bet won't take long to close the gap. We'll go for the reposition. The nades, the mollies will now fall in. And Savage got to do anything they can. Not just to keep that body alive, which is not going to happen. Those shots will come through. But to try and get out of this even as a duo.
This could be the decision on who makes it into the finals and who doesn't. With Banana being eliminated. Now Savage losing players as well. Flores being flushed out. Mini-Beer. He's going to pick up that one. It's just Sen and Bukov. And right now, everyone that is a fan of Hokkaido and Ascend is just screaming at the top of their lungs to make it happen, to finish this round. Kitchen, get in there, get these frags. It's what everyone's been hoping for. And Savage, at least for now, still has options. They've got a shotgun, which is sometimes all you need to counter the players pushing in. Let's see what Buko can do.
There's an argument that he could get out. Buku's going to have to try and back up. Here comes the flash. There's one, there's two. He's trying to get the sound cues. He's trying to get them to commit to the push. But a team which is below them, a team which is nowhere going to be qualifying here. They are playing for pride. Here comes another flash, but they are isolating. They're taking them one at a time. He gets one. He gets the flash. He's got to get the knock. How did he not connect the first shot and the second as they were fully blind and they were running round? And Savage, it's a Savage engine to their playoff stage. And Zen has to say goodbye as he has to claw whatever he can now out of this game.
That is so unfortunate. That flash was perfect. It was absolutely perfect. He just needed to get these shots off, and he just couldn't. He tried to switch back and forth, couldn't hit the first shotgun pellets.
Is that first one he missed,
the
right?
mid of the body. Yeah, I think it hit some bullets hit, but definitely not all of them. It wasn't straight on the body, and that's why he continuously survived. Unfortunate. BBL is going to try to capitalize on this. Kitchen is just now fourth, and they have obviously not lost a player, so it is a 4-4, and Squeaky will actually open things up. But his Latron going down, good first entry, and slows down BBL.
Still going to come in from third. It's not going to be long before NT sees it, but there you go, does get it. It's good playing for them. Free Sports obviously working away from that north position now, and here comes the push, comes through. Sheila picks up number 2. Kitchen been punishing. They've been deploying out the dishes, but not for much longer. BBL looking to, after finishing the fight with Int in our Rozuk, they're now pushing their way forward to Mini. And Smash won't be trying to find these isolated players. He knows there's a team coming in from behind because obviously the steal, that gives him the information away. But for now, there goes the zone. It will send its way down to Millie, but we are very, very far from the military shores.
And all these teams are still fighting. It's kind of a similar story to the last game. All these teams that are safely qualified, that do not need these points anymore, like Foot Esports, like BBL. Why would they rotate off? I mean, there's 3 frags essentially for you, especially if you're Foot Esports right now. You have positioned yourself all around this compound. All these players that are currently inside need to move at some point, and they still need to fight themselves beforehand. So these frags will potentially be relatively easy to be picked up. And no reason, once again, no reason to rotate. You've got the cars ready. You've got the meds for it. Look at this VAD is stacked on Yuto, stacked on meds. So just hold this one out. Absolutely no reason for you to move.
It's just difficult, isn't it? Which is really interesting on the other side, though, because we have some teams that said we're pretending. We're all pretending as a community for the playoff stages. So we have multiple teams in the 100-point mark. We've given the benefit of the doubt. The VP's there. But they are playing to get the winner chicken dinner. See the map there? Slow delay on the E rotating. There's that E pick will come in, but they'll be airborne as that zone will pop away. Let's go down towards the south. BBL will get punished from Foot Esports. Kitchen store able to survive, and that opens the door and picks up another kill. This is just ensured destruction. They're not going to leave, are they, FedEx? This is just PUBG doing PUBG, and we're going to go aggressive because there's a bit of gun skill, there's a bit of mindset control, and it's obviously Kitchen destroying Savage's opportunity to keep the numbers up is crazy.
Yeah. Schiller goes in. There goes another knock against Kitchen. Stratters It's shot in the face. No, I think that's a flash. Oh my goodness, that is a good flash. Wow, Schiller cleaning out the rest of the Kitchen players, and Kitchen is done and dusted. 20 points is what they're going to finish off here at the rotation, the summer edition. Not the ending they wanted, but as I've said, I think they can be proud of themselves for qualifying here. There's some big names in this one, and I'm sure we're going to see them in some of the qualifiers sometime soon.
And well, Entropic go head-to-head with FaZe. There's one, there's two, and down to the final player here. Entropic need to get the resi back on. Jenny's crawling forward. Hawkeye has put the at least enough on, but if they want to keep Jenny up, they got to get close. Hawkeye hit the shots, now going for the full send. Jenny will maybe crawl his way to get some more information, though. Doozy will get Gustav, though, and there goes Jedrix with the confirm on Jeem. So Hawkeye looking close to try and keep correcting on the information, be gained that he's on the move. He's going to be looking to try and get one. Hawkeye's here. There comes the first couple of it. Spray comes over. Hawkeye has to get the shots. He goes down to ones himself, but it's a doozy that claims, and Entropic lose one. But arguably, it's the first strong gunfight we've seen him win.
Was that a throw from Quizzy? Can we get a replay? What is this? Quizzy hit someone with a pen? That is good disrespect being thrown out there by VP, who safely qualified as well. They're actually in second place now with these frags being secured. They've overtaken Lil W, despite Lil W's massive first day. So Lil W still has to get a couple of more points in this round if they were going to continue staying in second place. Even Mercy with 92 points. That's, once again, the craziest storyline of this day. Excuse me, of this day. Mercy coming out of absolutely nowhere, destroying this lobby twice, and also getting a really good, really good second game on Miramar. So it seems to be that whole round. Doozy, as Nixie rotating straight into him. Doozy almost hit a pretty good shot in return, but no, Doozy, as I've said, is gonna pick that one up. No chance for VP as to play this one from here on out with two players, but we've seen anything from VP, especially with Ibby and Quizzy still alive, is that they're still dangerous, especially on this zone.
They are dangerous. They're above the 100-point mark. Let's see what they can do. They are down to a 2 now as the cars are sending their way, flying their way into the TDM section of Millie. It's good to see BB team rotating. Another team which you'd argue in a grand finals could potentially hit 100 points quite quickly if the zones fall right, the skill set is there. It'd be interesting to see how they deal with the Smash rule set. For now, clear out, the zone goes down towards the south. We still have a large amount of water remain. Savage he had to actually swim over. He's found himself a car, but you can see he's now rotating in on that east side. Zone shift again down to the south. What is with Game 6, Felix, and these crazy zones that we're getting?
I have no idea. This kind of reminds me of obviously that really tough, I think, Rondo circle that we've seen so far in the rotation. Definitely not an easy one to play. I think lots of teams are going to have to just send it on through, like Zen is doing right here. This is the last hope currently for Savage.
To
qualify. He needs to pick up a massive game. What do he need? I mean, 11, 12, 13, 14 points from around this. So he's gonna need to take home a dinner. That's what Sam needs.
Yeah.
He's gonna need to take home a dinner if he wants to throw Hokkaido out of the top 16. Hokkaido on 50. He's on 11 right now, excluding any potential placement points. They're gonna come in. And even though he does get shot by quite a few teams, it looks like his rotation path straight to the middle should be somewhat clear. I don't think anyone's gone deep center just yet.
Nope.
Obviously for the lack of a really good position as well.
And you've got to remember as well, just a little bit further around, you've got that ridge that you can play as well. It might keep him alive. I think the logic is go to the coast and lay low. Could he get a winner chicken dinner? Yeah, we've seen it from solos. Let's not argue like that. But it's a bit you mentioned just before. He needs to get big kills. He needs kills. And you got to think, is he going to get that as a solo? Yeah, you've got to argue. But at the moment, he's dodging the powerhouses. He's dodging all the big teams. He rotates his way and even leaves the car to say, I'm definitely not in the shack, guys. But let's see. There'll be no eyes on him. So he'll get away with this. I'd argue to say if Lol W see that car out in the open, that they might pick him up, but for now, he's in, he's safe, he's secure, he's got some extra bandages, and then we can go focus now on Na'Vi as hype beast. They've not really been the hype that we've seen today. They've definitely gained a few in chat, especially through the qualifiers, especially through the opening of the playoffs, but they need to reset a little bit when it comes to the grand finals.
I really like what Zen has done there. making sure his car is not anywhere close to the shack, so fewer teams are going to expect him in there. Then again, it is relatively close, and I think if you put 2 and 2 together, you might have a chance at expecting him there, anticipating that he's probably run towards the shack. There's nobody around the car either, so it's going to make it relatively obvious. Hype just lost 3 players against Na'Vi, who've put themselves above Mercy with that one. 92 points, also one of the absolute big contenders now in the finals. But I think that was clear from the get-go. And you see BB team, the one team that's also qualified in this lobby for EWC, pulling up now on VP. Quizzy is going to have to win this one if they want to have any chance. He does, but comes at the cost of around 90 HP.
Yeah, that's unfortunately cost. Down to 1 shot now. Here comes the push now. Does get one down, out. He's got to get the reload now. But lucky enough, he's got the car for cover. He pops up and a doozy's there to say goodnight to VP. Well, they won't be able to claim themselves a chicken dinner. So a test to 100 points. They get there, but unable to claim the chicken. Oh, there's a lot of gas cans. I wonder what they were going to be used for. As the antics now move in. Mercy Gaming, they're coming on the north side as well. They've been rotating their way around. Phil first will fire out a few shots towards him as he hears the cars coming down, but the zone shifts away. Gives up the water. Doesn't give up for Savage just yet. The teams will punish. Footy Sports obviously need to rotate their way in as well. It's an interesting zone. It's a zone we've seen quite a few times, and I think some of the prior positions have already been taken.
Yeah. The Doozy's rotated out of the military base. Pretty strong. Goes to show you how forward-thinking BB team is. They know at some point they will have to rotate out, and if this position is still clear, make sure to take it. Understandably, BB team still wants to get a good round in. 5 frags, everything on a Doozy, by the way.
Yep.
Is not that just quite yet.
No, he is holding up. Now, if you are that player in your team, if you're that Doozy that have got, just to let you know, Brutality is open signups. But, this is the big but. There's only 2 spots left. There's only 2 more chances to get you and your team in. So when you get 2 seconds after this one, or if you've got a second one to get your team signed up, as I said, it will be a complete full house, I reckon, by the end of this game. So you've got to be in it. Got to be in a chance to win it. Get your team signed up. You're playing with you guys on ranked. It is a bit different than ranked. It's this next step up, but you've got to get in and try.
Duffy finds one more, as he is also the last player out of the Hype's squads, Hype Beasts. Coming out here in phase 4, he's already secured a placement point as well. They've struggled. Now, they've struggled to finish off this tournament as strong as they've started. And they will go out in 8th place now in match number 6 for today. So, Hype Beasts will fight themselves in the finals, but not as convincingly as they started. As I've said, they've been struggling in recent times. Haven't put up the numbers that they have on the first day of playing, where they've looked really, really strong, especially in fighting, especially in taking initiative. I mean, they've got a player who's literally played PGC 2022. Cuppy was there, in case you haven't got that on your in your thoughts and in your remembrance of this tournament. He's played for Polish Power back there, so it's not an it's not an experienced lineup by any means, but they, at least in recent times, haven't had the biggest of successes. So good to see them back.
Yep, definitely good to see him back. Well, the zone now giving us this zone. We've seen these a few times, and it's now just to sort of give away that last little bit of water, tie itself back in. The question would be how much of Savage remains. I think he'll be on the precipice of the zone. Actually, he goes back the other way, comes back towards the southeast. That's going to give him a lot more opportunity, a lot more time. It means all these teams have got to fight. Footy Sports have arrived. They get the first knocked out to Blazers. They're going to continue making the push. Entropic are still in. Entropic making placement points. Now they've lost 1 at the moment. 7 teams now remain. And Hawkey's going to launch to nade out. MK in his back pocket. This is a good game from Entropic so far, but they need to deal with LOW. But they also need to deal with Foot Esports. They are controlling the East.
Man, that just sounds so dangerous. Hawkey somehow doesn't get that knock, but he's going to have a chance on towards Mogor. It's the headshot. Hawkey puts him down, and Foot Esports has lost a player relatively early on here in the early stages of this Eastern fight. And T-Bone is still very far away, so depending on how Entropic wants to play this, they could still have a chance. Just in theory, how many points would they need? There's no way, right? They will need another 10, 15 kill points here for Entropic to qualify. And this is what they're going for Foot Esports as well. They need to. take this advantage while Mogol is still knocked, or at least in the process of being revived, to push him back down, to pick up all of these, once again, all of these kill points. Because if there's any chance in this world for them to qualify, it is taking down FUT Esports right now, and especially cleanly.
They've got to do it clean. FUT Esports, I'd say, and a disadvantage in the sense that they've got the exposure towards BB team as long as they lurk out on that north side. For now, they're going to continue to play peekaboo, and Entropic, well, they've got to have a big game. And argument saying that I don't think they're going to qualify, but they're going to go out with a bit of pride here. Show us what they can do. There's no one. Hawkeye puts down Vard. Still moving. The MK whistles past. Hawkeye looks for the second. T-Bone comes on, but the Alpha Angle comes on from AC. Here's going to put him down. They've got to apply the pressure. If they want to stand a chance to get Hawkeye back up, they have to position in, and they are in zone.
More shots coming out from AT, as Vard has just been knocked, but the smoke wall is absolutely perfect. And look at this BB team. Yes, they could have angles on FUT Esports if they would take a little bit more space, but they have a different team to worry about towards the western side. Fulfus has made the cross now, and he's found a frag on his own in this game. And now it's not just a doozy. And oh my god, he's got such a good position. FUT Esports is in all sorts of trouble.
This is huge.
Now, Fulfus is closing down on them, and there goes the first one. Grandies is taking down T-Bone just before AT has put down Hawkeye, and he could be so beneficial now for Entropic, especially to pick up all these frags. More players falling left, right, and center. Entropic is cleaning this ridgeline, but they've lost players as well. It's just Grandies left alive.
It is just Grandies, but the smoke's dissipating. BB team are ushering FUT Esports out of the smoke, away from the blue, into the arms of Entropic, but they've got to get the numbers back up. There's another confirm here. BB team trying to find anything they can. The backs and packs of empties going to go. FUT Esports, well, they're going to claim 5th place. 4 teams now remain. Na'Vi with 3. Technically 2 with BB team, but it's going to go back for a big res, and I don't think it's going to happen, as it will go down to a 3 versus 1 versus 1 versus 1, and Na'Vi closing out as they started things. It's going to be a bit difficult for these solo teams, as Na'Vi's got the angles, but arguably I'd take away Entropic having a decent game. It was just too little too late.
Too little too late indeed. Not too late for Xen to win this round. It's not over just yet. I mean, if he somehow defends this against Na'Vi, once again, there is still the potential to do so. No, Fair is going to take him down. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. With Entropic only with a solo alive, I think we do have our qualified teams in the top 16. It's going to be all down to Na'Vi against Entropic in this last phase. And if you take a look, once again, 28 points for Entropic. That is excluding the placement points, yes, but even if he takes the 10 points, it's 38. That is still 12 points difference. So there's no way in hell mathematically he's going to be able to get into the top 16 for Entropic, but maybe we can at least still enjoy this last 1v3.
Just something hasn't clicked for the guys, right? Like, but this is the Entropic. This is what we're seeing. They're winning the fights. They're playing the outside edge. This is what I'm used to seeing. It's just not worked out for them. So I think it's back to the drawing boards. Figure it out. The teams have got the depth. They're a really good bunch of guys as well. They've got the coaching. They've got the support as well. So don't worry, I'm off. They'll be back. They just won't be in the rotation final, unfortunately. Na'Vi with a 3-on-1. They know where he is. Now let's see what they can isolate as they are pushing their way ever closer. 9 kills, looking to be number 10 as Ferris is going to go rolling on by.
Yeah.
Headshot.
It was the bait with the car. He didn't even go for the drive-by. That just goes to show you it was all planned from the get-go. Make him peek the right side, and then his teammate is going to be there to pick him up. Did fix, I think, the last frag of this round. Na'Vi with another chicken dinner. Once again, the most consistent teams in this qualifier. Not the team with the highest points, but definitely one of the teams that has played continuously throughout the entirety of the group stage. Now with plenty of points being secured by them. I'm excited to see them in the finals.
I'm excited. Na'Vi started the playoffs with the winner chicken dinner, and they ended with the winner chicken dinner. So got to give them the love and respect. Yeah, not the highest. Twisted Minds obviously are well up there. They played really well, but it is worth noting. It is definitely worth noting. Na'Vi weren't in the 100-point precipice, so they were still would have continued going. We'll get into the Smash War again in a second, but it's halfway through today. I felt like things changed. That the teams became very focused on practicing the Smash rule set, and it became very, very apparent. And then we came to the last game, and then Kitchen just picked apart, unfortunately, Savage, as they were just chasing every kill they could get.
Yeah, I mean, Kitchen needed to do the same thing that Savage needed to do, I guess, to some degree, which is just start really early, pick up frags, and then maybe try to get into the late game, while everyone else is doing the same. You know, they were hoping to bank off of everyone else playing as aggressive as what we've seen in the last game. If that would have happened, they would have been relatively easily in the late stages of this game, and then who knows, you know, everything can happen. If you have the space to play your game, and maybe you get a couple of circle shifts, the chicken dinner is not that far off. But it didn't happen, unfortunately. So Savage, despite us all the time, pretty much throughout the entirety of this day, thinking and just waiting for this one big round, couldn't make it work. And I think somewhere around the 40 mark is where it will finish off.
And that's the difference, and this is why I love PUBG. Yesterday, one big game made a difference. Ascend qualified.
Yeah.
Well, and we were short of one big game today from Team Savage. I think they're the only team really for me that could have maybe got themselves in. Ibanana just didn't really kick into gear, which is unfortunate. We do say goodbye to obviously a number of teams now, but again, no kudos where kudos is due, really. They got themselves, most of these got themselves through qualifiers, and the EU qualifiers were huge. The EMEA qualifiers, they were explosive. But for the teams that made it to this point, you've done yourself real huge amount of justice. So again, massive congratulations for you guys. What happens now, obviously we're just getting the final points tallied up, and we'll show you guys very shortly. But what we're going to be doing is taking the top 16 teams forward. So we're going to focus our way in on towards next week, and obviously we'll be coming back though from Friday, where we'll be playing officially the first time we get to see the Smash Roll, which I'm really excited about, because we definitely know we've got 2 days of PUBG. But how long that final is going to be, but this is what they are playing for, FedEx. This is the prize pool. 6,000 USD is up for grabs, but that's the big one. This one here, how much money do you put on the wild card? Because the group stages are a grind, but being able to get the lion's share of the prize pool, but also a wild card to PEC full group stage, that is huge.
Yeah, that's the main part, and we've been saying that time and time again, the main part that everyone is playing for, obviously, apart from all these regional teams that are going to be invited anyways. So for anyone who hasn't made it to Pack Spring, Pack Fall, is going to look for that wildcard spot. We've seen how many great teams, amazing teams. Let's talk about Fuzzface and all these guys, Clib and so on and so forth, that haven't made it through an open qualifier. So even the best teams still struggle with that, and it's understandably so. Everything can happen. An open qualifier it does have that certain randomness to itself. So getting a wildcard spot, not having to go through that, is legitimately massive.
Average points for Ascend 4.4. That is not normal. I will say that. Well, they do close out on 53 points. They did get the kills, they did get the knocks, but it was that final game, Felix, wasn't it, for Team Ascend? They weren't playing today. Their last game was yesterday, but it all came down to Game 6, and Game 6 went to Mill to Power.
Yeah. It's weird. It's weird. It feels like they've been struggling for some time now, and this is just a symptom that we're seeing right now, that they just cannot get into the groove of things. I think that's the best way to put it. They can't seem to find consistency. I feel like they've been playing more passively in recent times. Yeah. They've not been taking as much control as they usually do over the first 3 phases. They've just been waiting for zones to kind of shift their way, and if they don't, they are prioritizing placement suddenly instead of fighting their way in. That's as much as I can analyze from what we've seen so far in recent months. So I'm hoping that is going to change, and they're going to fall back to what has been working for them, which is starting off early in terms of fighting. Not shying away from phase 1, phase 2, phase 3 fights on your edge, actually clearing them out early, because that's usually what they excelled in as well, these isolated fights. You saw Chris now putting up huge performances right when they needed. Yes, but where was that beforehand? If they start to frag out like they used to, I'm not worried for them. Just something needs to change gameplay-wise.
That 4.4 average points is not going to be enough. Like, especially when it comes down to the Smash, they really need to dig deep. They really need to reset. Now with the Smash War, obviously, it's going to be different. And just to remind you guys, just while we're waiting for the final leaderboard to be tallied up. So we're going to come out Friday. We're going to be kicking off with 6 games, right? We've still got the same amount of rotations. Rondo's store involved. Hopefully we get someone else flattened by a Dorito from the sky. But after the 6 games, we then move our way into day number 2. Now, day number 2, what we're looking for is for the first team to achieve 100 points, right? So when you reach 100 points, the first team to reach 100 points, that will be the last game on Saturday. We will then come back on Sunday, and then once we will play, we are looking for the team that is over 100 points to also bag themselves a win a chicken dinner. Now, you guys in chat will be going, well, Mark, isn't it 70 points? They actually agreed PUBG Esports and Bing to just raise the bar to 100 to see how it goes, to see if it was spread across those 3 days, which I think is a really good call. So we get to see that. But also, the other thing you really need to focus on, you cannot get 100 points and a winner chicken dinner in the same game to win. You can do it, you can get your 100 points, but you won't be winning the lion's share. You won't be taking that first place. You have to come back and get yourself another winner chicken dinner. Or if you go over 100 points naturally on day number 3, potentially if you bag yourself a winner chicken dinner. So it's going to be explosive. But let's get these final 16 teams confirmed as we look at now the overall leaderboard. Twisted Minds, the answer to the social media post from BEING ESPORTS. Well, no one can catch up. 138 points. Day number 1, they kicked off with a whopping 65, but obviously day 2 they came back swinging even harder. Navi, Lol W, Virtus Pro, Mercy Gaming, Footy Sports, Howl, WLA, BBL team had a very good second day actually. Secura Sentin, who impressed us as well, 11th place for them. FaZe Clan, explosive day number 1 and ending up on 75 points, so super high for them. Bumble, Hype Beast, and then we start to descend our way down. Hesend and Hokkaido do qualify, but we have to unfortunately say goodbye to all the teams, all the players on the right hand side of that leaderboard. And there's a few which are shocking for me. Entropic, we've spoken about. Solo, again, I'm quite shocked. But then I look at the qualifiers and teams like Bullet Rain, Smoke Wall, even Kitchen to a degree had impressive qualifications, Felix. And it's sad to say goodbye, but we have to cut the line somewhere. And the point split was 50.
Yeah, and we said it was going to be higher than usual. Everyone is thinking about 45. I said maybe it's more so going towards the 50-point mark. It did in the end. Hokkaido, as you said, being the last one to qualify for the finals, which is interesting because there's been very few teams that made it through out of all the teams that have made it through the qualifier, and Hokkaido being one of them is surprising in my opinion because once again, this is a complete mix. Mekendark and Wooly and the rest of these guys, they didn't necessarily play together outside of this. Actually, they don't at all. So it was a big upset. I remember their Twitter post. It was a big upset that they qualified for this as a complete mix. Really not even playing actively anymore. It's more of an analyze coaching role. And then they come in here, destroy the EU qualifier, and qualify for the grand final. That is, in my opinion, the biggest upset coming out from all these qualifier teams. The rest is relatively self-explanatory. I just want to quickly touch on FaZe Clan and BB team, despite their amazing performances in recent times, have kind of disappointed me so far, but then again, it's the group stage, and we know FaZe Clan likes to pull up when it's needed, and it really wasn't needed up until this point. They had a pretty good first day, so they slowed things down.
Well, maybe it is Dex that is causing the mystery in the back of their mind. For those, you just need to go see the clip because we saw it nearly unfold yesterday on our Rondo. Well, that's it from us. Thank you very much, everyone that has tuned into chat. Thank you very much to Felix, the production team, all the observers, everyone working behind the scenes. Most importantly, thank you very much to PUBG Esports and obviously for BEING ESPORTS for being the show. We will be back on the channel same time Friday, but it is Smash Rule time. I'm super excited. Let us know what you are in chat. And obviously, by now, I reckon the final signups have been done by Protality. So that's another event that's kicking off. So loads going on in the EMEA region. Again, thank you very much for all stopping by. Make sure you keep playing PUBG, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.